Welcome, everybody, to the U16 pod. I'm Ryan MacArthur.
And I'm Connor Williams, and welcome to another episode of the U16 pod here. And welcome to part two of our Silver Stick series here. The last episode was part one of the Silver Stick series here. We got the chance to talk to four players who had outstanding tournaments at the Silver Stick there in Whitby. We got a chance to talk to a couple players from the championship JRC team and Porter Martone and Michael Hagg, as well as Sean Doherty from the Ajax Pickering Raiders and Mike McIver, goaltender from the Quinny Red Devils. All four players had an incredible tournament, incredible conversations. So if you haven't checked out those interviews, haven't checked out the episode itself where we talk about some standout players from a few groups as well, definitely be sure to go check that episode out as well. But another big episode coming for our viewers here today, Ryan. My goodness, part two here. We're jumping into the rest of the tourney. Another four great interviews we got on tap for our listeners and our audience members, Ryan. I'm really just pumped. We're pumped to get it going here. So honestly, Ryan, I say we just jump right in, and we'll jump right in with the first team.
Let's do it, right? We're jumping into Group 1 to start because we didn't cover that group last time. And 4-0, the Mississauga Sens, right?
Yeah.
You and I have both seen them a lot. We both actually live fairly close to their rink, so any chance we get, we go watch them, and their league play and whatnot. And we caught a bunch of games in the tournament as well.
Oh, absolutely! It's good. How can you not want to go watch them play at the when it's so convenient at the rink they're at? So, but honestly, like you mentioned there, they had an outstanding Silver Stick. They made it to the finals. Tough loss in the finals to the JRC. But honestly, I mean, they were 4-0 in the round robin, just like you mentioned there. Plus 25 goals differential there. My goodness, just a dominant performance in the round robin. And they kind of carried their way, faced some adversity in the semis, but they really found their way to the finals and just had an outstanding Silver Stick. So we'll start off with a couple guys who, honestly, we've talked about them a fair bit, so we won't go into too much detail, but these two guys were leading the tournament in scoring, and my goodness, they were dominant as well. Once again, Michael Misa and William Moore. William Moore was at top, and then Michael Misa, they were both like neck and neck. And we won't go too much into detail, but these 07s were just at it again, just dominating, doing their thing. This is the U16 pod, as we talked about. The 06s is this year, so we'll hold off on going too much into detail on these two. But Ryan, just William Moore and Michael Misa were incredible again.
Yeah, they're both excellent skaters. Really, really long strides, good stride power, really fast and speedy. Little different, right? Like William Moore, he's got a little more of a power game to him. Likes to work the cycle, use his body, protect the puck, and do things like that. And big shot. Michael Misa, just a smooth operator, wicked skill, unbelievably skilled player. The hands and the dangles are really fun to watch. And I mean, they're a little bit different, but they're both extremely high end. And I mean, we've both kind of got them as in that top group with 07s, look at top scorers in the tournament pretty much, with Caden Kelly, who we also interviewed. So yeah, we'll talk more about Kelly later, right? But yep. Do you have anything more to add about the two stud 07s there?
No, I don't think there's much more I can add there because you said it pretty well best. But my goodness, just can't wait to watch them more this season with that respect. So, like you mentioned there, we're gonna kind of skip over Caden Kelly here, who had an outstanding tournament, as we have an outstanding interview with him coming up. So we look forward to playing that for audience members. But the next player we have to talk about, Malcolm Spence again. My goodness, he came back. He came up big in their semifinal game against the Markham Majors. They were down in that game actually, and he helped with the comeback. He put up some goals and showed off that quick shot, that speed, that power he has in his skating, and that ability to create offense with the hands, the shot. Oh man, he just gets that off with the quick snap of his stick. But he was creating a lot of offense that tournament, right?
Yeah, the big thing about Spence is he's got great speed. So he can separate, and that separation ability and that ability to create a gap and create space for himself is really huge. Great first couple steps, great feet, really, really, really quick feet, and excellent hands, highly skilled. So when he gets room to maneuver and operate, he sees the ice well, great vision, great passer, and that shot release is just awesome. I mentioned before, I think it's one of the top shot releases in the draft. And I'm sure you agree with me. We've seen a lot of snipes from him, eh?
Oh, absolutely. And just to add on to that too, he's when you watch him, he's still filling up too as a player in terms of just muscle wise, but he's also still so strong and he plays with like with a bit of an edge. And we've talked about it before. He's got that swagger and that confidence on the ice that he just when he steps on the ice, you can't help but notice him in that respect. But you can't knock him over easily. He's not going to give up easily. When he gives up the puck, he's like a dog on a bone going to get that puck back, and he's looking to get possession back and do his thing offensively with that respect. So Spence, honestly, gosh, still one of the top guys in the draft by far. You can't deny it. It's just undeniable watching him play. So another player we'll jump into now here. Gabe Frasca, I thought had a really solid tournament as well. Gosh, it runs in the family. With I got the chance to see one of his older brothers, like Kingston there, Jordan Frasca, put up a hattie against Niagara recently. And my goodness, the Frasca bros just keep piling up, whether it be at the OHL level or the U16 level. And he was doing his thing, kind of just getting in there, using his skill to his advantage. He kind of finds his teammates. He's got a bit of aggressiveness, got a mean streak to him that I like sometimes when I watch him play. That hey, if you mess with him, he's not going to give up much, and he'll come back at you just as hard, I think, as well.
Yeah, and he comes by it honestly, like you mentioned, his brothers, Jordan, obviously. You mentioned in the OHL, he had a huge camp at the Leafs rookie camp and at Traverse City. I was watching a bunch of the games, and he was putting up points, scoring goals. So, and I mean, like the Colts stuff's in the background here. The Jacob Frasca on the Barrie Colts, like somehow got passed over the NHL draft last year. He might be a re-entry pick for the NHL draft coming up. Let's talk about Gabriel. Gabe is just unbelievable. He had a great tournament. Like I was kind of hoping to see more from him in some of the league games I saw, but in this tournament, like he displayed why like everyone's talking about him. Everyone loves him. Long, really, really long, just like his brothers, and fast. And like that range of motion, his arms and his skill, is excellent. Like with that long reach and those long arms, like he's able to make passes that a lot of guys can't. Like he gets his arm, he can get it out like with really, really good hands, quick hands. He gets it out and gets it past the D, like just kind of like forehand, backhand, whatever, like gets it past that defender. So that reach, it helps in those situations because he can make those passes in tight spaces and off the rush. Like let's face it, to get a pass around a guy like, let's say, Sam Dickinson on the Marlies, it's tough. Like he's long and he closes the gap real fast. So have that reach to be able to reach around and get a quick pass off and get it past a D like that. And that's a big skill and going to be really important at the next level, right?
Absolutely. And he's got one thing you can see that if a couple bounces go his way and just want like an inch here and an inch there, he's got an unreal shot.
Yeah,
just that release he's got. I've seen him on Instagram when he's in his work with Josh Roble. Skill coach, works with guys like Shane Wright, Cal Ritchie, all those outstanding players. But
yeah, we love Josh Roble, right? Like he's a very popular guy. I heard he's got like a waiting list like this long. He's very awesome skill coach.
Yeah, so just watching him shoot the puck, a little like an inch here and an inch there, and that puck's in the net for Frasca there. So it's like you can see the shot, the high end caliber of a shot, that's the elite shot that he has. So it's something where an inch here, an inch there, and he's got a couple more goals on the board here. But so much to love with Gabriel Frasca with that respect. And he had a great tournament as well. And then another player we'll jump into, Ryan, Bodie Stewart. Another player we've really liked this season, but another player who had a really solid tournament. He opened up the scoring in the final of the Whippy of the Silver Stick there, with a nice little goal. Got put out on a breakaway, and my goodness, displayed some silky finish. But he's a player that I really like. I every time I watch him, I like him even more. His shot release is unreal. The snap he has, the kind of, it's just like it's almost like a flick of the wrist, and he gets it off, and so much velocity, and it's accurate. And he doesn't seem like the biggest kid necessarily, but he gets so much power, and he protects the puck so well, and he just finds ways to roll off of guys and shield the puck and maintain possession and open up his teammates for more chances with that respect. And just an incredible player.
Yeah, he's got great balance, great body control. Like you mentioned, like great stick, great shot, and those puck skills are really high end. We love Bodie Stewart. Another one here, Riley Patterson, plays that power game, power forward, strong. Like Yeah, like he's got a powerful shot, huge hits. Another player we really like, right? Like William Eggleton, really fast. We've mentioned a lot of these guys in the pod before, but yeah, like that group, like, I mean, unbelievable players, right?
Oh, the forward group is just phenomenal, and we also Quinn and Lyle's another player who just gets in there, gets in the dirty areas, does the dirty work, really grinds down low, uses his body to cause pressure, and he puts himself in good spots on the ice in the offensive zone, especially to get a chance on net and get an offensive opportunity with that respect. So just their forward group is unreal, and I mean, then you go from the forward groups and we jump into the D group here, Ryan. And it's almost like just as good with that respect. I mean, we start off here with Justin Hyun, number 19 on defense, right shot D. Oh gosh, he had a great tournament as well. He was really just the aggressiveness he's been able to play with, the hockey sense he has, and the way he jumps up. He's got the ability to carry the puck out of the zone himself. He can make his really good first pass, find lanes in his own zone where he's just able to hit it on the tape too. Kind of a consistent theme with a couple of their top D there with him and Turley, where you got
Yeah.
that left shot, that right shot. Both can just hit seams, hit the tape with the pass, with the breakout pass, but still have that ability to break out of the zone with their feet and carry the puck up ice, and are both pretty aggressive as well in that respect. So yeah, I mean, it's a two-headed monster there on D with Hyun and Turley, I think.
Yeah, Hin, you're looking at like it's more that power, that
Yeah,
burst, that explosiveness. Whether it's shooting the puck, he's got a heavy shot from the point. Whether it's the physicality, playing strong D, playing physical, like just absolutely creaming guys, smoking them. Unbelievable hitter, especially in the open ice, right? I've seen him catch guys, and it doesn't look very, very fun for them. And Turley's kind of very like similar. He's bigger, like he's taller, I would say. But like Turley's just, I mean, we had him on the pod. We've talked about him a lot. He's a big, strong defenseman, and we love him. And yeah, like we could probably go through the whole team here, but yeah, like other guys, like I mean, Wasink is good on D, Vandeven, like all these guys, right? Rodriguez, like great team.
yeah, Rodriguez, Phil Roberto's a tough guy to play against on D
Yeah,
there, but Lucas Rodriguez is a D I really like as well. Just his
yeah, he's
ability.
big, tall.
He's a really good special teams guy as well. I found, especially on the PK, a guy
PK, yeah,
who they
yeah,
trust really consistently on the PK there with his reach and his
yeah,
aggressiveness and the physicality he plays with. He's a guy down low, whether it be 5-on-5 or PK, that he's not fun to play against, and he's consistently
yeah.
able to make a play and get the puck out with that respect. But the sense, just unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember you made that point on the pod, and I took a mental note. And at the silver stick, I noticed that, like, because he's long, he's got a great reach, and he really uses his stick well on the PK, and that's something that OHL teams are going to notice because I mean, killing penalties is a big thing. There's a lot of penalties in the O, right?
Yeah,
A rough game, man.
definitely not a shortage. Sometimes they just
Oh, it's crazy. The OHL is, yeah, like let's face it, there's a lot of special teams because it gets really like aggressive. Like it's I mean it's hockey, right? But they're like I've been I don't know, I go to a lot of OHL games. It feels like there's just penalties all the time, right?
yeah. But anyways, we'll get back into the next group, next team here because we covered the Sens a fair bit there.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
keep
with
in
good
mind.
reason, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, the next team we'll jump into, Bishop. We'll jump into the Bishop Kearney selects. There's really only the main player we wanted to talk about. Smaller guy, Wellenreiter. He's actually originally from the Hamilton area. Played in the G previously, but decided to head down to Bishop Kearney this season. BK had an interesting tourney. They were missing some guys, kind of some here and there kind of stuff where some guys weren't able to make the trip. Some guys were up with the U16 or U18 BK team still playing down in the US there. So the BK team had a solid tourney. Their only loss, their loss came to the Sens in that respect. But Wellenreiter's the main guy who we kind of focused on in that respect from BK, just because I believe he was the only Ontario eligible 06 playing for them at the Silver Stick there. And I mean, just he's a smaller guy, but he's got that speed, he's got the skating, he's got that shiftiness and the edges that kind of make him what I've heard so much about with why this player is such an outstanding player, Ryan.
Yeah, I believe he's originally from Hamilton.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if he's the only one eligible, but when one of their coaches reached out to me and said like, I asked them, you got any Ontario guys eligible for the draft? And this is the one they brought up. So when they came down, I just listened to the coach, and I didn't look up the rest of the team, but he was the one that I focused on. Just really fast. He's smaller, but I think with that speed and that quickness, like he's worth a look for OHL teams. I think he's going to be drafted. Really, really fast, right? Like really, really quick. He got 4 assists in the tournament. Showed well. BK. We weren't sure what to expect from them, right? Like you said, and yeah, like he looked good. He looked quick, and like he's got that shiftiness, nice hands, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see the rest of the year. It's always tough. It's kind of been tough years, but still with COVID, because American teams, there haven't been many American teams who've come up,
Yeah,
and it's tough with the border restrictions and everything that goes on there. Because if a player isn't vaccinated, they can't come up, or here and there. With all the little intricacies that have come with this lovely pandemic we've had.
yeah.
So it's tough to catch the Americans. So it was good to kind of catch some BK and get a look at Wellenreiter, who's a player who's been playing down with BK, kind of taking a similar route to Luke McNamara, Matthew Lee, who we had on the pod last year. So it'll be interesting to kind of keep an eye on him, see how things go with BK, and we wish them nothing but the rest, or nothing but the best the rest of the season. They're down in Rochester. So the next team we'll jump into, Ryan. We're gonna jump into the Huron Perth Lakers. 2 wins, 2 losses. Had a solid tournament. Tough group for them in that respect. I mean, it's always tough when you have the Sens in your group, but we'll start with a player I think you and I both like, Tate Bader. Oh man, what a player this is. He's a player for Huron Perth that just drives a lot of the game for them. I remember seeing him at draft day, and just the effort, the high work ethic, the hustle he plays with. He's always constantly going, getting after the puck. Doesn't give you much time to have the puck on your stick. You got to make a play with it when he's on you. But he's also got a level of skill and finesse with him that makes him such a deadly finisher and threat in the offensive zone there.
Yeah, and when you're watching him, he's going to jump out at you right away. First couple of shifts, you're going to notice him because 200-foot player, center, really, really excellent motor. That power, that drive, and that explosiveness is really a big strength of his. So he dictates a lot of the game because he has the puck a lot. He shuts down a lot of plays in the opposing team. And I mean, he's kind of like a key cog for that Huron Perth team. Like,
Yeah,
without him, they wouldn't be the same. Like, he's that stabilizing kind of force. Like, he's kind of their leader. I'm not sure if he wears a C. I can't remember, but like he is like the guy on that team. He's a really, really good player. I thought Caleb Bowler showed some good stuff, good power player. But yeah, I didn't have too many standouts on this team. But yeah, like Vader was a big one, and Bowler was another one that sort of stood out for me. Yeah.
I'll throw a couple more names in there as well, Ryan. Blake Elzinga, forward for them.
Oh yeah.
As well as Atlee Rogers. Both players had solid tournaments for me. Elzinga just kind of he had a really good tournament in terms of just kind of creating chances, working down low, being a guy who gets down low, creates chances in that respect. But both those guys kind of didn't catch too much of her as much of Huron Perth as I would have liked. But those 2 guys and the little looks that I was able to get kind of were standouts for me as well in that respect on Huron Perth.
Yeah, you're right. Elzinga was good, actually. Now that I think of it, he's a good. He drives the play, right?
Yeah, he's another guy who's been coming on this season as well, and he's definitely a player. I think they're participating in the Marlies tournament as a player. If you're at the Marlies tournament, keep a look at him as well. That Huron Perth team, you definitely want to check out because there's some players who really will be key players to watch as well come the rest of the season here. Because Huron Perth is a sneaky team. They've been pretty good. They've been really good in the Alliance this year. So Huron Perth is a team we definitely want to check out more and more. And Blake Elzinga, Tate Bader, Atlee Rogers, all those guys on that team are guys we want to keep an eye on with that respect in that regard. So next team we wanted to talk about here, Thunder Bay, the Thunder Bay Kings. They had a nice tournament as well, I think. Jumping into the players here, Ryan. One player in particular I really liked on D was a really kind of a big defenseman, Nicholas. Apologize if I pronounced this wrong. Nicholas Holomageo. Watching him play, he's a big D, like tall, strong. He does not make life easy down in the corners, which is something you really like to see from a big defenseman. Physical, gets those cross checks in there, not penalty worth cross checks, but like really makes you pay down low. Like if you're going to the front of net and he's there too, he's not going to make you want to stand there. He battles hard. He kind of causes turnovers down low, takes pucks away, and kind of gets the offense, gets the defense, and turns it into the offense there with that respect. He has also got the leadership capabilities. I believe, if I remember correctly, I think he had the C or an A. Don't quote me. I'm getting older, so my memory might not be there. But he was.
I think he's the captain, for sure. But
yeah,
you're wrong. We're not. He's got something on there. You know that.
But he's definitely a player I was really enjoying watching. And I also want another player from Thunder Bay I really liked as well. It was the goaltender Carter George. I saw him play in their game. I saw bits of it against Whitby. He was really good, kind of moving in the crease well, really controlled in the crease, not panicking when there was plays in front. He found ways to kind of stay controlled, not lose his crease, not lose his position in the net, and remain calm, kind of fight for the puck, fight to find the puck there. Use his vision and make big saves down in the clutch there for Thunder Bay in that respect. So those are a couple guys on Thunder Bay. I don't know if you had anyone else, Ryan.
I liked Holomego as well, and I didn't want to interrupt. I think he's 6'3". I looked him up before. So he's a big, tall defenseman, long, great first pass. Like you said, he plays with an edge. Definitely a guy that I've identified. I identified him in London. I liked him a lot. I'm not sure if I mentioned him on that pod. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we get some more stuff in on him, because I think I forgot after the London tournament. So yeah, he's a good player. Like I think that he's probably their best player. The other guy that I kind of liked was Carter Deschamps. He's a forward. He's good. He's a power player, and I think like that puck pressure and like that heavy game he plays, physical, good with the puck, good shot. Like I think he's one worth noting as well.
Absolutely. So Whitby had a tough turn, but they did put lots of effort there, lots of hustle in that team, and tough go for them. So we'll look forward to seeing them in more games and all that, and how those go as well. But as we conclude Group 1 here, we want to play our interview with one of the Sens player we mentioned. We had the interview with Caden Kelly. He had an outstanding tournament, like we mentioned, one of the leading scorers in the tourney, and just an unreal player. Outstanding interview we had with him. So Ryan, without further ado, here's our interview with Mississauga Sens forward Caden Kelly.
All right, we're here with Caden Kelly, star forward from the Mississauga Sens U16 AAA program. Caden, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
No problem. It's our pleasure to have you on. You're an unbelievable player, amazing and unreal performance at the Silver Stick with 12 points. How did it feel at the tournament? First big tournament of the year. Everyone was there. All the top teams were there. You played at such a high level. Your team went really, really far. Like, how was the tourney and how was that experience with your teammates there?
It was amazing. Playing against the top teams across North America. It was a really fun experience. Playing against different people than the normal in the GTHL. It would have been nice to win. But it was really fun to compete with the boys for sure at such a high level.
Yeah, definitely. And sorry, Connor. Yeah, but it's you're in good company. Like, I mean, another tournament finalist was that 03 Don Mills Flyers team with Shane Wright and Brant Clark. And so even though you guys didn't pull it out, like, you're still in great company there, right, Connor?
No, and honestly, I remember I saw you guys' game against Bishop Kearney there and saw you rip that backhander top shelf on the goaltender there. How was that goal like, eh? How did that goal go for you?
I just skating down the wing. The defense wasn't giving me a lot, so I thought, drive the net, get a puck on there, and just went where it went, and it was pretty cool.
Ryan was standing in the corner with Rain, and Ryan were flipping out, eh, Ryan?
Yeah, I was standing Rain Hernandez, like RCAH Sports. We got to shout him out. He got a great shot of that goal. When you scored, we were both freaking out. And when we looked at it on the video and the shot that he got of it on camera there, like we both were just like, oh my gosh, like there was no space for that shot. So gorgeous backhand, unbelievable shooting accuracy there. That was awesome. And like another part of your game, like in addition to that shooting accuracy, all the skill that you've got, based on our views, like you've got OHL level speed and your movement away from the puck and an ability to find open ice is one of the most impressive aspects of your game. How do you think like that you've been able to become one of the fastest players in the GTHL and learn such impressive movement like away from the puck?
Yeah, over the summer, I was doing skating technique with Don Braid, and I knew going into the summer, I knew speed and skating was something that is pretty important. You know, watching OHL games, you know, those guys are pretty fast. So you know, and speed kills. So I knew I had to work on that. Also working in the gym, you know, working on leg strength, explosiveness. That's really helped me. And practicing with our team has been really helpful because, you know, practicing at a fast pace. Once you get to a game, you know, you're just used to going that fast. So, and as for finding open ice in the zone, my coach Chris Stevenson, he's always told me that I got to find open ice in the zone to get my shot off. So I've been you know, really diligent at you know, finding the shooting lanes and the passing lanes, and I think it's really paid off for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I mean, like you said, speed kills, and you've got speed, and you're coming in waves, and really tough to contain. Like, I mean, even your edges, quick putts, like Connor would agree, like you're one of the best skaters in the whole G and the whole loop overall.
No, absolutely. I noticed you mentioned they're working out in the gym. You got a favorite? I gotta ask, any favorite leg day? Any leg day exercises? Any favorite?
I love the reverse split squat with the barbell. Love that one. Burns the quads, and you know, I love a good goblet squat.
I love that. Nothing like leg day in the gym. Nothing better. You can't skip leg day.
Nothing better.
So
no,
yeah, you can't skip leg day, right?
No.
Oh, that's awesome. And then jumping in another part of the game. I mean, you have the puck on a string, and just you're so highly skilled. I mean, such a highly skilled forward, excellent hands. I mean, you got the dangles. We put up one clip against the Nats where you just beat the heck out of those boys and then sniped one. I mean, is there anything specific you do to work on your puck skills that have made you so good at this aspect of your game?
Lots of work with the stick handle ball in the basement. You know, just goofing around with it. It's you know, time with the stick in the hand, and you know, I find that's really helped. And you know, we get backyard rink going during the winter, so
nice.
as much time on your skates and with the puck is the better. And at school, you know, when we go on the ice at school, I always try and be creative. You know, try new moves, just to see if they'd work in a game. So yeah.
I love that. I love hearing that creativity aspect, having fun away from the rink and having fun, especially with the ODR. Nothing like in the ODR.
Yeah, nothing like the ODR with the boys.
Are you someone who will go out there as long as possible, even if it's like -10, -15?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That.
As many layers as it takes.
Oh, I love that. I remember there when I was younger, there was a rink by my house where it was like so cold and the heaters were like broken. And like you still find a way to stay out there as long as possible, just because it's like there's nothing better than hitting the ODR in that aspect. So. Yeah. And then I mean, we've jumped into your game a lot here, but I mean, if you had 3 words to describe yourself as a player, what words would you use and why?
I'd use competitive, because I love to win, and I think that's one of the most fun parts of the game. You know, being in the locker room with the boys after a big win. That's nothing like it. I'd say aggressive. You know, I feel like I'm pretty hard to play against, whether I'm finishing my checks or driving the net. And good sportsmanship. You know, I try to be as good a teammate as I can, and respecting other guys' games across the league.
Oh, I love those answers. I love that, especially the respect aspect of respecting other guys. But those two words there of compete and aggressiveness, watching you work down low, it's not fun for the opposition. Like I can guarantee that they do not have fun when you're like battling in the corner, using the body. Because watching you can lay the physicality too. Like we talked about your skill, but that watching you lay the body, it hurts just watching it sometimes. So honestly, I think Ryan would agree with me there, eh?
Yeah, I got like in that Nats game that you mentioned where I got the clip of that nice goal you got. I got a big hit from you, and I got a video of it, and I'm kind of sitting on that one for this episode to put out, like to kind of help promote it. So I'm gonna put that one up. But open ice hits, like really aggressive. Like you don't give the opposing D any time. Like just you're on them, and you're really aggressive, and you compete hard, and you battle hard. And that's awesome. This kind of a good segue into this question. Often in sports, there's three things that athletes say they love to do. So those three things are play, compete, and win. Of those three, which do you love the most? And like, I mean, oh, sorry, and like, it can also be a combination of the three. So like, what do you like to do in the combination of those three there?
I definitely think it's a combination of the three. I love to play. I love to have fun while I'm playing. I play my best when I'm having fun. But I love to compete. I find it's way more fun. Playing in the big games. The tournament finals, the game against the rivals. I find those games are the most fun. And obviously, I love to win. It makes you feel accomplished. And it shows what I've done in the basement with the stick handle, what we've worked on in practice, all that pays off. It feels pretty good. And celebrating with the boys in the room, as I said before, there's nothing better. So.
Oh, definitely. And like, you guys are going to have a lot more celebrating to do. And you're like top contender. Like, I mean, JRC, like they won a couple big tournaments, but you guys are going to be tough. Like the OHL Cup, like I'd almost say that, I mean, between you guys and the JRC, like you two are like two kind of top favorites. Like it's like a two-headed monster kind of thing still. So I think you guys got a lot of winning left this year. And yeah, are there any players in the NHL that you model your game after?
Yeah, I'd say Alexander Ovechkin. He's always been my favorite player ever since I was little. I love obviously I love his one-timer. The guy can score with as many guys as you want to put on him. But I also love his physicality. He's not afraid to lay the body when he needs to. But he's also a great teammate. He just loves being in the rink with his teammates, and he's a great leader. And he's learned how to win, right? It took him a while to win that Stanley Cup, but when he did, you could just see that pure happiness on his face.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. Like one of my favorite Ovi stories is I was at the ACC, or I guess Scotiabank Arena, it's called now, but I always think of it as the ACC. And I remember in warm-ups, he did a spinorama. This was probably like 8 years ago. He did a spinorama, hammered a 1T. It hit the crossbar and went like 4 rows into the upper deck. I was just like, I'd never seen a puck go in the upper deck in the ACC. I don't know if Connor's ever seen anything like that before, but that was insane.
No, that's unreal. Like he's an unreal player. I gotta ask, do you think he's gonna pass Gretzky's goal scoring record? You think he'll catch that?
I think so. He's really hot right now. He's got a hot stick, so I think he's gonna keep that up.
He's having an unreal year this year too. Like he's up there with Draisaitl and McDavid, putting up the points, not just the goal. So honestly, he's hopping guys in that goal scoring race. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see him pass the big one. And honestly, just love watching. Like you mentioned, it was sick watching him win the cup. It's just with the emotion he had as well there. So, but we'll jump away from hockey now for a bit, and I have some fun ones for you. If you could travel anywhere in the world for a vacation, what would be your go-to destination?
I would say Revelstoke, BC. It's a ski resort, and I went last year at Christmas, and it was an unreal experience. The skiing, not only the skiing was awesome, but just being in the mountains with all the trees around you, and all the views. It was just unreal.
That's sick. That sounds like the best like experience you could have as well. Are you are you more of a, are you a summer or winter guy?
I'm definitely a winter guy.
Yeah. That's sick. That's like me. I'd rather be in the cold kind of more aspect than the summer in that regard. So I love that. Just everything involved there. So that's awesome. And then what is your favorite non-hockey sports team?
I would say the Redwoods Lacrosse Club. That's my favorite PLL team, which is field lacrosse. Not only I play field lacrosse too, so it's cool watching the pros play, but I also like watching Miles Jones and Sergio Perkovic play, because they're big bodies, like they can run fast, and they can shoot pretty hard. So it's fun to watch.
That's awesome. I love that aspect. That's bringing that lacrosse aspect. The fact that you play lacrosse too, that multi-sport kind of aspect of it, that athleticism. You think that's helped you as well in hockey, that lacrosse aspect?
I think so. I think it not only helps with handles, but also game sense, like knowing where guys will be in the zone. It's very similar. So and physicality. Yeah. Finishing checks. It's a very rough sport, so it's toughened me up. That's for sure.
That's awesome. I love hearing that, especially with having that little aspect of it, seeing how they cross over. That's awesome. And then last one here for you. What's your go-to pregame meal?
Honestly, it's whatever's in the fridge. I'm not picky. Usually it's a chicken breast with rice or noodles, but whatever's in there works.
I like that. Making me feel better about my student budget diet I got going here. Whatever's in the fridge, that's what he picked. That's like me. Whatever's available, that's what I'm picking out.
Yeah.
I love that. That's incredible. And just honestly, it's just been awesome talking to you, Caden. It's watching you this season. You've been unreal. Honestly, we can't wait to watch you more this season. I know you guys are going to be in the Marlies tournament. So we're pumped to see you there. Pumped to see you guys the rest of the season. And just honestly, best of luck the rest of the GTHL season. Best of luck in the tourneys, and best of luck at the OHL draft.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back from an interview with Caden Kelly, forward from the Mississauga Senators U16 AAA program. Whew. I don't know if you could have a hot tournament. What a tourney from him, man. What was it? 12 points, I think. 12 points in 7 games played from him. Beauty highlight reel backhander that we talked to him about there. Just the way he's been able to kind of progress as the season's gone on here and put it together at the silver stick. Every time you see him, he just gets better and better and better, and he finds a way to get his game to another notch. It's just incredible player. And one of the things I first noticed about him was his work ethic down low, actually, was his ability to battle, get in on the forecheck, use his body, kind of just not give guys time and just battle hard down low, do the dirty work, and then come out with the puck. Wins those puck battles. That's a big thing that I think a lot of guys at the OHL level look for, is those guys who are willing to get in the dirty areas, battle for the puck, and come out with that, and are able to come out with that puck. Because ultimately you want that puck on your stick. So if you get in there, you get in the forecheck, and you're able to pull that puck away from someone through your work ethic and your hustle, that's huge. And then Kelly's got that. That's a big thing for him, Ryan.
Yeah, and he gets on it quick. Like, he's really, really fast, right? He's got great speed, and he throws huge hits. He's very physical on that puck pressure is strong. So I've seen him throw like massive open ice hits, massive hits against the boards on the end boards there, and defensemen. So he's bearing down on them hard, and really, really good on the forecheck. And that speed, and then like you move into other aspects of his game. He's really, really highly skilled. Like, we've seen him pull off some unbelievable plays. Like we mentioned the goal that Rain Hernandez, our buddy, had posted there, the seeing eye shot with the backhander through literally the smallest window, and he picked that corner or whatever. And there's different other things on our Instagram that people can check out for examples of his skill, like that one goal where he beat a few guys, really, really nice hands, and dangled around with nice toe drag. And then kind of led into to a nice stick handle and then a quick release on the shot, right? So he's really, really highly skilled, really, really elite overall in terms of that skill, the ability with the puck, the dangles, and then that shot release, right?
Absolutely. And just the ability to finish, bear down on his chances. He's got that ability, like you mentioned there with that shot, to beat guys from distance, beat goalies from distance, but also he gets to that net front area and he's able to kind of, if there's a loose puck in front, he finds that puck and he kind of bears down and just puts the puck in the net whenever he gets that chance, which is massive with that ability to have multiple ways to score. And also another aspect I loved that we got the chance to talk about with him was also his athleticism. He's a multi-sport athlete. He plays lacrosse as well in his free time. He really highlighted how that's really helped him in hockey with the aggressiveness that lacrosse has, the physicality they play with, but also the skill that it takes, to cradle the ball there in the lacrosse stick consistently and so effectively there. So that ability the multi-sport athlete kind of aspect is huge. You see so many players with that lacrosse, and it's clear that it's impacted this game on a positive end.
Yeah, his handles with the puck are great. He's able to kind of cradle it well. We talked about that with Michael Hagg on the last part 1 episode. We talked about his cradle, and Kelly's got that skill as well. He's really, really good at like hanging onto the puck, and he can skate with it for a while. Like he's the type of player with his speed and with his hands, like he can hang on to it. He can do loops around the zone. He's got lots of options. He's also a great passer, great vision, just such a complete overall player. I mean, good defensively. He gets back on the back check with his stride length and his speed. He's able to close those gaps and shut down plays and help his D out on the back check. So get rid of those 3-on-2s and turn them into 3-on-3s, things like that, right?
Absolutely. So that complete game is really an aspect that's massive for him. And another thing I'll add as we wrap up here on Caden Kelly here with the outstanding interview we had is just his ability as well to find the open spaces, get himself in areas where he can get the puck, whether it be on the breakout or in the offensive zone. He finds a way to kind of just sneak away little aspects where, you back up a tad that gives you a tad bit more of an opening and a tad bit more time where once you get that puck, you can let that shot go and put it in the net like he does so often. So,
great point.
Yeah. So, just an awesome interview with Caden Kelly. Can't thank Caden enough for coming on the pod. Just a phenomenal getting to talk to him, learn about him, get some insight into his game on the ice, as well as kind of learn about some fun stuff off the ice with him. So, once again, just massive thanks to Caden for joining us on the pod. On that note, we'll jump into Group 2 here. Ryan from the Silver Stick, leading the way in Group 2, the Vaughan Kings. Whew, we got to see a massive matchup. We might as well talk about these two teams kind of neck and neck here, Ryan. The Friday, we got to see Vaughan and Brantford bright and early in what was an aggressive, fast-paced, physical affair. I was kind of back and forth for the longest time. And then one of our guests, Logan Sawyer, who we're going to get into a bit later, potted the game-winning goal and insurance marker for them late in the third there. But we'll start with Vaughan of the two teams because that was an incredible game. But Vaughan, man, we'll start, like I mentioned, we're going to jump into Logan Sawyer later, but Sam O'Reilly, Ryan, holy, the shot he has. There's a few times where I was watching him rip it, and I was thinking, my gosh, if that hit the net, that was in, and that was just going to be a wicked goal because his shot is unreal. Like the release he has, the speed, the velocity, the power he gets on it, and his ability to get into open space to use that shot, it's just incredible. And he's a dangerous scoring threat whenever he's on the ice.
Yeah, he's got great shot velocity. He's at the tops in this draft in terms of like overall shot velocity and his ability to get it off quick and rip that shot. Whether it's a slap shot, snap shot, he just rips it. Really, really good. He was missing the net in that one particular game we went to, but I saw him a lot in the summer and in preseason. Even off the rush, he can rip those shots going down the wing. He flies down the wing and rips those shots. And in the summer, I saw him pick top corners. A lot of unbelievable goals. Over and over again, he was scoring great goals this summer. And the shot there was a lot of power play. So he was playing point on the power play a bit for Vaughan there. And he was missing the net, but it would hit the glass and it was just that ring, it would be, it's echoing through the arena, just like if you're standing in front of the glass and it hits right in front of your face, you're gonna have that ring in your ear for a good minute or two, eh?
Oh, As much as I love a good scare behind the net there, when someone shoots the puck and it rings off the glass.
Yeah.
I do love seeing it hit the net more. So that way it saves me from having to get the Jesus scared out of me sometimes when it hits the glass. And
that's why we stand in the corner, right?
Yeah, exactly. Eh? I'd rather have the bodies, the big hits in the corners scare me a bit more than the boom of the shot there. But
the things you learn, like doing this job, like scouting longer and longer, it's like the corner becomes your friend because you don't get that. I mean, I know some scouts that don't even like to be near the glass for warm up because it's like it's loud, right?
Well, the amount of times I gotta say, watching warm up, the amount of times players tend to miss the net in warm up, it's dum. It's like ping. It's like, oh my god.
You have a headache before the game starts, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, O'Reilly. Getting back on topic here. O'Reilly's just an overall great game. Just the way he plays, the physicality as well. He's not afraid to get down low. He's got an aggressive streak to him, which is good. That specific game that I was talking about there between Brantford got really, really, I guess you could say nasty by the end there. With no team was giving up anything. No team. Brantford wasn't going to go down easy, and Vaughn definitely wasn't going to be like, hey, we're not going to let you push us around here. So it was a real back and forth, and O'Reilly was not shy about getting into it, and sticking up for his teammates and battling out down low in the corners there and winning those puck battles as well. In that respect. So O'Reilly's one of the top guys on that Vaughn team, and he's definitely a player we're looking forward to keeping and watching as the season goes on. But another player we'll jump in here, Ryan, Justin Tavares. There is a relation there with the Tavares, the great John Tavares, who played lacrosse, a relation there, and then obviously John Tavares, a hockey player. But Justin Tavares, my goodness, he can skate. The edges he has, the way he kind of moves, he uses that mohawk so efficiently to kind of work around guys. And one thing that stood out to me when watching him, he is relentless. Like, some guy could be on him and he's using that mohawk or he's using his feet, and he is not going to stop moving. He does not stop moving his feet. And some guy can be whacking and hacking him, and he finds a way to just pull away from that guy, push him off, or even if he doesn't have the puck, he is in there. And he is grinding it out, and he is pushing him around, and he's doing whatever he needs to do to get that puck. And it's like, oh my goodness, like I love watching those type of players who are just after it constantly. And he's also got that aggressiveness too. Sorry, go ahead now.
No, sorry to interrupt. He's not the biggest guy, but like the number of times I've seen him get the better of a bigger player, like in those kind of puck battles, it's impressive. Like he's got no fear. We mentioned that before. Like when you're not when size isn't to your advantage. I mean, he's not tiny, but like when size isn't to your advantage, having no fear and being relentless like it's really important. Really, really important for people like players at this age group and any age group, right? So yeah, he's really good. Quickness is really good. I like how you mentioned the 10 and 2 edges. Like he uses that effectively to open up, and he's got his head up. He's highly skilled. And I watched, like I mentioned before when I was talking about O'Reilly, I've seen these guys a lot in the summer, and he's a good finisher. I mean, like he's got nice hands and tight, and you can attribute that to lacrosse. Like John Tavares, John the lacrosse player, and John the captain of the Leafs, like comes by it honestly with those hands, like just unbelievably skilled, and he can finish, he can make plays, he's a great passer. Awesome player to watch, really, really electric.
Yeah, absolutely. And the energy he plays with on the ice, it's incredible to watch. Exactly. Up tempo, constantly going. Great point there. And just when you mentioned his quick hands, another thing that kind of popped in my mind was when I was watching, a big thing for him was he may be in one spot, and if the guy kind of closed off lane, he's quick to recognize, I got to move into a different spot where I can get the puck and where someone can give me the puck type thing, which is massive to have that recognition and that hockey sense in that respect there. But Tavares is a guy who stood out in that tournament there. And another guy I wanted to bring up was Caden Petra, number 11 for them, a center. I really liked his overall game, really complete player, both defensively and offensively. Really, one thing I noticed actually was his face-off work. He was consistently winning the draw for his team, which is massive. I mean, that's the start of a possession there. Getting in your team possession when you're able to consistently win face-offs. So that was right off the bat something that stood out for me. But also, starting off defensively, watching him back check and kind of get into a position where he could break up a play, use his stick, intercept a pass here and there. He comes down low, is an outlet pass for the breakout. as a slip pass or up the middle from the winger. He's constantly kind of being there for defensively, which is good, and constantly reliable in that aspect. But then offensively, he was creating chances and he was putting the puck in the net. He had a nice goal in the Brantford game where he ripped one with a shot, kind of cut middle. But he's another guy in this Vaughan team who just battles down low and doesn't give up much, and he's going to be relentless, just like I mentioned. It's kind of a common theme with this whole Vaughan team, man, right?
Yeah, Petrie's got good size and he moves really well. Like he's a great skater, great good speed. I mean, he was passing and seeing the seams really well. He's a player that really impressed me, especially on the power play. Just that puck distribution and that movement. And he was playing that power play effectively. I mean, another couple more players. Joshua Petrini. He's a smaller forward, but he's super fast. Got a really nice goal when we were watching. And I just wanted to get into just the goalie, Landon Miller. Big, tall goalie. Really, really good goaltender. Like he got the bulk of the play for Vaughan in the tournament and did well. Like he took them far, right? Only 6 goals against in the whole thing. 1 shutout. He's really big and great lateral movement, like great athleticism, like plays the puck well, just a really good goalie. Like I think the last line of defense, having him there, I think that makes them like their team is very feisty and very formidable. And then when you got him as a last line of defense, it kind of makes them like a tough out. Like they almost beat the JRC in that semifinal. That was a kind of a controversial finish. I wasn't there. I don't know much about it, but that they were close, right? And like that great goaltending and that ferociousness that the team plays with, I think I love I always love the Vaughan Kings. They're always like very, very.
They're always in the mix. They're always in the mix with that ferociousness that you mentioned. It's honestly such a great point, Ryan.
And we're not mentioning a lot of players. Like there's a lot more players. Like even Ryan Castle, Aiden Castle's. I think it's Aiden Castle's brother. He's a defenseman. He's good. Like this, we haven't mentioned a lot of players on this team, but like they're all like very solid. Like it feels like every player on Vaughan is like above average. So it's like they're just a good team.
Yeah, honestly, that's such a great point. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like I remember watching the 04 Vaughan Kings, and they were another team where they consistently played within their system, played within their roles, but they're always relentless. They're always like tough to play against, and never got anything easy. And we saw what that 04 Vaughan Kings did in the GTHL final, where they took the that JRC team with Pano Femus, Ty Nelson, all that whole team. They took that to the final game, to a sudden death game in that respect. And this Vaughan Kings team is another team that can do that.
And my goodness, those purples, eh?
Oh, we love talking about that. Gosh, if you stick around for the Logan Sawyer interview, we got to talk about that a bit with them.
I remember now,
I love seeing when they walked out those purple unis there. Whew, I felt fired up myself on that Friday morning, first game of the day, and I felt more awake as soon as I was a bit tired on the GO train ride. My goodness, they woke me up a bit there with that. But I did like you bringing up Josh Petrini. I did want to, as we wrap up on Vaughan here, I watched the fearlessness of this kid blocking shots. I watched him block. A bunch of shots, and my goodness, I could feel his pain blocking those shots, and just I felt so bad for him with the pain he must have been in, but just the fearlessness to block those shots and the willingness to sacrifice the body. Oh.
And you see the bench go crazy. They were loving it.
It was. I love the energy that they had there. And it's nothing. It's something that gets the boys fired up. I mean, it was a tight game for the longest time. It was a tight game, and he was getting those blocks in a tight situation where Brantford was getting some shots from the point, and boom, he was coming out with a big block to kind of turn the puck over there. It was massive. So
great point. I forgot about that. Like that was unbelievable, and there was multiple massive block shots. He was selling out. Like his bench was going nuts. Yeah, they were absolutely and it got them fired up. Like that's great. A great team player.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll jump into the other team from that game, that specific game we've been referencing so much here, Brantford. We'd be remiss if we didn't start off with Lucas Carmiers, one of their top players on that Brantford team. Just the power, the skill, just such a complete player I found. Just the way he's able to see the ice, the hockey sense he has, the hockey IQ, the way he's able to use the skating, whether it be with his speed and his foot speed to kind of separate and kind of establish some offensive presence, or even create more space and time with an ability to change his pace. He's just an incredible player. And it was like watching him in person live. Oh my goodness. What a, like the aggressiveness he plays, just everything about him is just unreal, Ryan.
Yeah, we'd seen him on video quite a bit. I actually personally, I'm not sure about you, like I won't speak for you, but I hadn't seen him live in person yet. And like he was as advertised. Like I've been hearing about this kid for a long time about how good and how elite he is. He's high end, really, really going to be a high draft pick in the OHL draft. Like there's no doubt in my mind. He flies. He's an excellent skater. Excellent balance, excellent body control, unbelievable shot, unbelievable passer. He was making passes through like 3-4 bodies. Man, he was a force to be reckoned with in that Vaughn game, and like he's so high end. Like I mean, pretty much everything he does is good. He's got a great shot release, great player, right?
Oh, absolutely. So honestly, he's got to be. He's one of their play drivers for them. He's a player. We've seen what he's done in the Alliance this year with the amount of points he's put up specifically, but also just the way he's able to create. He's a leader on that team. He's got the seat for them. So he's a massive player for Brantford there. And then the next player I wanted to get into as well, Merrick Banneker, number 78 for them, left shot winger on the same line as Carmiris there. Oh, the power he has, the power he plays with. Another player, it was kind of consistent theme in between Vaughan and Brantford, where they're both, I can see why it's tight games whenever they play each other, because they just go at it and they're just relentless. Whether it's Brantford getting in offensively or Vaughan, it was just relentless. Vaneker going in, there was multiple times where I watched him go in and he'd lose an edge and he'd just go flying into the boards, but it's because he just came in there with such ferociousness and relentlessness and no fear, where he was going to get in there, he was going to win a puck battle, whether honestly, it was unreal watching him he was going to win that puck battle if it was the last thing he did. And there was countless times where he did that. And he was developing scoring chances too. I got to see that release on his shot. He's got an outstanding shot with the release he gets on the puck. He's just an unreal player as well, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. He's big body, like powerful, physical guy. Tough to get off the puck. Okay, when he's got the puck, he protects it well. He uses that body effectively to hang on to it. So I love that. Like the other thing about Brantford is they've got a great Instagram going, and they're putting up a lot of highlights, which really appreciate, because it's like one of the teams that's kind of geographically harder for me to see. So I like seeing those highlights, and Vaneker shows up a lot on those. Obviously, Lucas Carmiris, another guy who shows up a lot, Bryden McCallum, player that I really loved watching this summer on Prodigy. He was on the Prodigy team. Tommy Carmiris was there as well, another good player. Lucas's cousin is another good player on this team. But Bryden McCallum, like I know that's one that you really like. Really, really fast. Like he's kind of maybe slightly below average size, but like kind of at average size-ish kind of center. Wins a lot of draws. Really, really quick. Like, and he's the type that can carry the puck for a while, makes plays, create separation, and kind of make just that playmaker, right?
Yeah, and another thing I want to point out there too with the outstanding points you just made is with McCallum there. I noticed something at the end of the Vaughan game, especially, was they were down and they were losing still, but he was not giving up. He was not a player who's going to go down. He was not going to take the L with ease. He was in that corner and he was making life miserable for Vaughan. It was probably 2 minutes left still, and it was like, okay, maybe this game might be out of reach here. But he's like, no, we're still in this. We got this. Let's go here. He was battling it even when 30 seconds left. He was in that corner. He was going at it. He was thinking, okay, if I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose this with dignity. I'm going to show you, hey, you may be beating this right now, but I'm going to make you, like, essentially hurt, like, figuratively speaking, with that respect. But seeing that aggressiveness and that edge that he played with in that respect was a great sight to see, because he does, like you mentioned, have that skill, and he's got that offensive presence with the skating in his hands as well, and that finesse in that aspect.
Finesse. Finesse is a great word. And, like, he's the type of player when you're watching, super electric, really, really fun to watch. Like, let's face it, like when we go to scout, like a lot of it is just we love the game and whatever. So watching a player like that, it makes it feel worth it to get up at like 7 a.m. to go watch a hockey game. Like you maybe don't want to get up in the morning sometimes and get down to the rink, but then when you get there and you watch a player like that, it's just like it makes it so worth it, and just definitely an unbelievable player to watch. And Tommy Carmiris, is another one I like. Like I mentioned him briefly, but Lucas's cousin, another good player on that team. It's a good team here. Like Jack Kersey's solid. They got a lot of good players, right?
Absolutely, and I'll just throw a couple more names here as well, who look good in the few games I saw from them. Gavin Birmingham and another D, number 19, Fennel, were a couple of D who I kind of liked in their showings. Solid efforts from them as well in that respect, from Brantford as well. So we'll jump into the next team if you're all right with that, Ryan. We'll jump into our next team from group 2. Hamilton, the Hamilton Junior Bulldogs. We talked about them a bit in previous episodes, but kind of a team that just they work as a unit really well together. You've told me about this before, where you watched them the first time before me, and you're like, there's these guys are really like the whole team as a whole is really solid, but they work as a unit. They got that high effort, high hustle. They find a way to play really hard against players, and that's something I've noticed consistently with them. When I saw them play against Niagara, they make life miserable for the top players. Nothing comes easy against them. I saw them against Vaughan, I think, as well, and nothing was coming easy for Vaughan in that game. It was Brantford rather. Nothing was coming easy against Brantford against Hamilton. They find ways to make life miserable for those top guys, and they find a way to get their chances, and they're able to capitalize on various chances in that respect. And the first player I wanted to bring up was Braden Russell in particular. He's a player that stood out to me on multiple occasions where he's able to kind of shifty on his skates, smooth on his skates, kind of gets in there. Gets in there, finds ways to get in the dirty areas every so often, create chances for his team. He's one of their best players, I think. He's a player that creates a lot for them in that respect as well.
Yeah, and we've mentioned him on previous episodes. Braden Russell, like great edges, great skater, really, really smooth. Got 3 goals in the tournament there. So really solid, like kind of solid tournament for him. Like goals are hard to come by in the Silver Stick. It's a tough tournament, so getting a few is good for him. And good skater, like good speed, and yeah, just a guy that we've kind of seen as kind of the standout on this team. Maybe along with like Dean Della Georgis. He didn't get as many points in this tournament, but he's had plenty of excellent showings in my views of this team as well. But when you look through this whole team, I mean, like we mentioned, like they're just a really good deep team. So in terms of that aspect, I mean, it looks like Matthew Schaefer played a game. I didn't even notice, but we love Matthew Schaefer at a high end 07. But yeah, this team is just a good deep team, and they play well as a unit.
Yeah, absolutely. And so as we wrap up on Hamilton, I'll list off some more names so I thought looked solid for as I was watching them play. Jack Gallo, Harrison Reed on D there. Matthew Campanella was a player who's really tough to play against. High work ethic player, tons of hustle. You mentioned Dean Della Georgis there, outstanding point. And then Jake Peters is another player with his quick feet, speed in that respect on Hamilton. So Hamilton's a team. They're always a tough team to play against, no matter who you are. So whatever group they're in, they're going to be participating in the Marlies tournament as well coming up. So they're definitely a team to keep an eye on. Always a tough game when you're playing against Hamilton, the Hamilton Junior Bulldogs. So it'll be fun to watch them some more. But they had a solid Silver Stick as well. They were in every game, high effort. Didn't quite see the results that they probably wanted, but really great Silver Stick, I think, if you look at it from the general perspective in that respect. But on that note, Ryan, I was thinking we jump into our interview. What do you think? Just play the Logan Sawyer interview.
Yeah,
give our audience members one of our an outstanding interview. Such a fun interview with Logan Sawyer here from the Vaughan Kings. Oh gosh, it was so much fun. We had so much fun beforehand talking to him, and then when we recorded, it was just such a great time. So honestly, Ryan, without further ado, here's the interview with Logan Sawyer from the Vaughan Kings.
All right, we're here with Logan Sawyer, star forward from the Vaughan Kings U16 AAA program. Logan, how's it going?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Doing great, thanks. Like, it's awesome to have you on. I mean, you and your team, you guys had a great Silver Stick tournament, and you had 7 points in 5 games, and your team went undefeated in the round robin, which is awesome. Like, we all know that Silver Stick, super deep tournament, so to go undefeated is huge. Awesome stuff. So can you talk to us about like your thoughts on the tournament and how it was for yourself and your team?
It's just a great tournament. Like, it was just fun to be there. A bunch of scouts, like the atmosphere and everything. It was just awesome to like be a part of. And I think like we haven't had a tournament in 2 years now, I guess. So it's our first away tournament with the boys. There's just good bonding time. And I think we kind of like as a team, we kind of came together and like showed everyone like that we are like a good team and we can play against the other good teams in our league.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, like I know you're a good team. Like I've been watching your group for a while. Like the Warriors in the green jerseys at the Carnivale League. You guys were awesome, and you yourself, like all the games I've seen you play, like you put up unbelievable goals in the summer league and Carnivale. I actually got to see you play the full game against Brantford in the Silver Stick, and you scored beauties, like unbelievable finishes. Like I remember the one you went top cheese. I looked at Connor and I was like, holy crap, like we got to get this kid on the pod, like unbelievable. And just like how do you develop that like finishing ability in tight? Like you're really good at finishing with chances when you're in tight, like great hands, great release. Like how have you done that, man?
I don't know. I think it just kind of came to me, I guess. But I always like I have a shooting area in my basement. It's kind of a bit of a closed in area. So I guess it's like I'm a bit tighter to the net. So that kind of helps me out. But I don't know. I think I've always just kind of been pretty good at finishing in close areas, and my hand, like I've always been working on my hands throughout my whole hockey career, I guess, if you want to call it. So
Do you think you get a bit of that from the lacrosse? Because Brad McDougall, a really good friend of mine, he's with the Marlies, and he knows you. He said that you're like a really, really good lacrosse player. You think that helps with the hands a little bit?
I've never really thought of that. I probably did, because when you're in lacrosse and you get uptight with a goalie, you're always going to be faking moving the wrists around, I guess. So it could help out a lot.
Yeah, I know it's a bit different, but yeah, Connor and I both agree, right, Connor? Like he's unbelievable finisher, great hands, right?
No, it's unreal, and that ability in tight just it helps with the next level, especially when you don't have much chances, and to be able to capitalize is huge. But I mean, in addition to like that finishing ability, watching you just work down low, especially in the offensive zone with your size and your strength, I mean, it just makes you so tough to play against down low in the offensive zone with that drive and the high work ethic you have. I mean, where would you say that drive and that hustle comes from for you, and why is it so important for you to use kind of that size and strength you have on the ice?
Well, it's kind of a gift to be tall, I guess. Like not everyone's tall and like their genetics and everything. So I think it's good to like use your size and be able to maneuver around people or like push people off the puck and kind of control the puck without them being able to like hit you off the puck easily. I've been working it out a bunch like throughout the summer, like during COVID, I guess, and I'm continuing working out, and it just helped me a lot I just feel stronger, I guess, on the ice.
I like that point you made there, especially about the height genetics. I'm unfortunately one of those people who haven't quite been, my parents didn't bless me with those height genetics. So I'm always jealous of you guys. As you guys walk on the ice or whatever, you guys are walking by, I'm like, oh God, I'm like looking up to you guys. I'm like, oh God, parents, why couldn't you bless me with just a bit more, like a couple more inches and be nice? And you guys always look, every year you guys look bigger and bigger. The age groups just look bigger and bigger for some reason.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just me because I'm so short sometimes.
Well, they're on skates too, man.
That helps out a lot, I guess.
But when I'm on skates, I'm pretty freaking tall. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it. So it's just awesome to get the aspect of the height plus the size, because like you mentioned, being able to kind of just shrug guys off as they go to check you is huge. I mean, especially. Yeah. I mean, as we look at kind of your team and kind of you talked about kind of that tournament being a bonding experience for yourself and your team there. How would your teammates and coaches describe you on the ice as well as kind of off the ice, away from the rink there?
I think off the ice, I'm just like a funny guy. I think I'm a good guy to be around and just to like hang out with. And on the ice, like I can fool around, but when it comes on to like game time, I'm gonna be a pretty serious guy. Like I'm not gonna be fooling around a bunch, but like I will have my fun, like I guess off the ice or like cheering or scoring goals and like that. But I think I'm just like a hardworking guy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I like that mindset, especially kind of like before the game, have fun with the boys and all that, get in that mindset. But once you hit the ice, it's like go time. And it's like getting that zone type thing.
Yeah. You gotta focus in.
Yeah, exactly. Are you guys who's got any like superstitions or any pregame routines for you that you got to go through?
I get like, I don't know if there's superstitions. Like I have to put on my right elbow pad before my left elbow pad, or my right shin pad before my left shin pad type of thing. But no, I guess if I play a couple good games in a row, I'll try to do the same warm up or something like that, or same thing. Wait, actually, you know what? One thing, me and Sam O'Reilly, 23.
Yeah, I know him. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beauty. So before the game, we always have a little cold shower together and then get dressed. So I guess that's a superstition.
I don't know. That cold shower, that definitely got to wake you up, I guess, eh?
Yeah, that's why we started it. It just kind of wakes us up, and I think we started it when we played against Don Mills, and we both had a good game. So we just had to continue the ritual.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I know that cold showers definitely aren't for the faint of heart. I don't think so, eh, Ryan?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. It makes me think of like sometimes in the NHL you see them take those like smelling salts before the game. I think it's kind of the same effect to kind of wake you up right before the game, because you got to be like on point, right, to start a game, and yeah, like definitely laser focused and all that. And I can see you guys, like you guys are like a really, really high energy group, like with your Vaughn Kings, like really, really fun to watch, really awesome team. And you guys get after teams right away. Like it's really good. Like I think that's a big strength of yours, playing 3 solid periods a game. But in terms of like, I don't know, let's get out of hockey a little bit here. Let's get into some fun ones. Which like if you could have any superpower, this is kind of an interesting one. Which one would you choose or want?
I don't know.
It's a tough one, eh?
It's
a
tough
to pick.
You guys rattled me a bit here. Maybe to like go back in time or go into the future.
That's a good one. That's the first one. A lot of people will be like invisible, but that's a good one. Do you have a time or place that you pick to go back? Like any ideas for where you might go back, or even go to the future?
No, no specific times. I just maybe to like fix a couple things I did wrong or something like that, or something that I did just to fix that.
Oh man, I'm 38 years old. Like there's so many like different circumstances in my life. I wish I could go back and change. like as you live longer, like I don't know, obviously it's not possible, but it's kind of an interesting question, like an interesting follow-up. We like to ask this one, like if you could go back in time and watch any sports event, like which sports event would you choose? Like for me, I would probably look at maybe like, I'm a Barrie guy, so I might go back to the old Barrie Flyers days before I was born. Go see Don Cherry playing for the Barrie Flyers, right?
Yeah.
Like if you could go back in time and pick like any sporting event, anything like in the world, like even something like going back watching Sidney Crosby's golden goal, like what would you pick if you could go back in time and pick any kind of event there?
My dad's kind of a diehard Leafs fan, and so the last time the Leafs won the cup was when he was like 1 year old. So I'd probably go back and watch that just because they're pretty I don't know when the next time they'll be able to win.
Yes. Love that answer. That's beautiful, eh, Connor?
Oh, so you guys are a Leafs family, I guess?
I have to be a fan. I'm a kind of a Pittsburgh fan, but I gotta have the Leafs.
Connor and I are like that
we're
too.
We're big Leafs guys, and unfortunately, it comes with a fair bit of pain involved and sorrow every playoffs, especially last year with the 3-1 Habs thing. So
yeah, that pissed me off a little bit because Montreal swept Winnipeg, so the Leafs could have had.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The funniest part is, so my sister, she was like in the playoffs. She's like, "Oh, the Leafs are gonna win this series 3-1. They're up 3-1." then right after they lose, she goes, "Oh, I'm a Habs fan now." I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing?"
That's brutal.
That's brutal.
You can't do that. She's like, "Oh, Carey Price is awesome." I'm like, "No, you can't do that. That's no. Like, what are you doing?" So we're not on good terms for the rest of that playoffs there, especially because the Habs went to the final though. So, but next we'll pop in the next one for next question here. Away from kind of superpowers and traveling in time, if you could only eat one food or meal for the rest of your life, what would you want to eat?
I gotta go with chicken wings. Barbecue chicken wings. Can't go wrong with barbecue chicken wings.
Oh, that's a good one. How many could you eat? What's your max? How many do you think you could eat? You had to
In one sitting?
one sitting. How many do you think you could eat?
I don't even know more than 3. 3 pounds. Like I don't even know if I'll get to 3 pounds. Probably 2 pounds, maybe.
That's a pretty good amount though, Ryan.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Like I love chicken wings. Like you can tell by my figure here. Like I'm no, I put them back. I like hot wings. Like do you have a flavor you like?
Barbecue. I'm not I don't like hot stuff, so.
Yeah, the hot stuff's tough. It's like it's good at the time, but then like I don't know.
Maybe not the day later or
oh, exactly.
I always get made fun. I used to get made fun of because I'm not a big hot guy either. I was in high school. A lot of people seem to like the hot stuff, and I was like, they're always like, ask me, like someone walked up to me once and was like, oh, Connor, do you eat ketchup? I'm like,
oh my God.
What do you mean? Do you eat ketchup? They're like, because you hate hot stuff. I'm like, okay, let's relax there.
I feel like some people lie about liking the hot stuff so they don't get bullied or make fun of, I guess.
Yeah. There's nothing to be ashamed of though, because that stuff is no joke. That stuff is no joke. And then contradictory to the favorite food. If you had to pick one food that you would never, like if you could never eat one food again, what would you pick?
I don't know.
It's a tough one because.
Yeah.
It's gotta be Brussels sprouts for me.
I was gonna say like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, but I don't really mind broccoli that much. But probably tomatoes. Tomatoes gross me out. Just the texture of them, and I don't know. I don't like tomatoes, but I love ketchup. It's weird.
I'm the same. I'm the exact same. I can't stand like tomatoes themselves, but the ketchup, it's like
I love ketchup. Put ketchup on everything, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I like tomatoes. Like warm tomatoes grosses me out, but I like when they're cold, like a BLT. I'll take that. But like warm tomatoes, like when they're cooked.
No tomatoes on pizza type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's gross. No, tomatoes don't belong on pizza.
Oh. I like the irony in that too, though, is the fact that you got tomato sauce.
Yeah, you have tomato sauce.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And then you have tomatoes on the irony in that whole thing is like.
That's funny.
I don't want tomatoes, but I'll take the tomato sauce. The irony in that whole
thing.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is I saw at the place I work. I saw one dude like eating a tomato once, like an apple.
Oh, that's.
Like, I don't know how you're doing that. Like,
no, that's disgusting.
I've seen like people eat tomatoes like an apple, and then I saw some dude once like chomping on an onion like that. I was like, what are you doing? Like
that's too far. That's too far.
Yeah, exactly. That's crossing a line. Like you can't come back from that.
No, you can't. That's disgusting.
That's exactly so. But we'll jump into another one here for you. Away from food and all that fun stuff, you could talk to and understand one animal. Which animal would you want to talk to?
It's got to be dogs. I feel like I sometimes just want to know like why they're sniffing this same spot for like 5 minutes straight or something like that, or like if they're like I felt bad. My dog was a bit sick like a couple months ago, and like I wish I could like communicate because he could tell me like what's wrong with him type of thing.
Yeah.
Like we had to get tests done and all that. It was just like it's kind of like painful to watch because they can't communicate with you type of thing. So
yeah, exactly. I like the point you made there, especially. But then when they're sniffing random stuff, it's like, what are you doing? Like, or it's like when my cousin's dogs, they're like just jumping up and down for no reason. I'm like, they're doing different stuff. I'm like, okay, what's the point of that? Or they're just barking at a random like object. I'm like, what is the point of that? Like, it's a random object. It's got nothing to do with you. Or it's like I saw an IG video recently. This guy took his barking like Chihuahua, walked it outside because it wouldn't stop barking, and held it up and was like, there's nothing here. Why are you barking?
Someone at the door. There's no one here. Like,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
Before we hopped on, like you had a big dog barking in the background. Like, what kind of dog do you have at your house?
It's a Bernedoodle, so a Bernese Mountain Dog mixed with a poodle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's a 97-pound lap dog. He thinks he can just like sit on your lap and it doesn't hurt you at all.
You're like, buddy, I'm sore. I was playing a hockey game tonight.
Yeah, and you're sitting on my lap for like 10 minutes and I'm like, I can't feel my legs anymore. Like,
yeah.
That's exactly like my cousin's boxer dog. Like pop, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, and then they
Get
stick
off
their
me.
bony legs. They'll stick their bony legs in the worst spot. You're like, okay, like you're bigger. You're almost the same size as me here, and like something's not adding up here in terms of size and all that. So, I that's such a great point there with that regard. And last one for you here, as we bring it for a full circle with Vaughn here. I know you guys brought the third purple jerseys back. How good did it feel to have those beauties back?
Oh, it just fired us up. Like before the game, like everyone wanted to get their stuff on first and see how they look type of thing. It was sick. Like, because we've never got to wear them before. Like our coaches kind of denied them, I guess, for us, like not being able to wear them. So finally we got to wear them this year, and it was just sick. Like wearing them and looking at the boys, it just pumped us all up.
Those are unreal. I mean, we got to see Ryan and I got to see them for the first time in Brantford. And
those are sick.
Saw you guys walk out of the room there.
Like, did you find you guys like did you guys get dressed earlier that game, like the normal? Like you just wanted to get the stuff on?
Oh yeah, we were all just trying to get
all dressed like an hour before the game.
It's like how do we look type of thing. It is.
That's awesome.
So cool.
I love that, especially as soon as you guys walked out of the room. I was like, "Oh, they got the purples on. Let's go!"
Yeah, you guys. One of you guys post on like the Insta story too. It's just.
I did. It
was cool. It just, I don't know, it's pumped us up, and we've all wanted to wear them since. We just never had like an opportunity to wear them because after the tournament we just played 2 home games, so we haven't got because we can only wear them like on away games because they're technically dark jerseys, I guess. So. We have to wait, but I'm just pumped to wear them again.
That's sick. Yeah. Those jerseys were, I mean, those are iconic for GTHL U16. Just watching Vaughn growing up. I remember when like 01s, because that's my sort of age year. Watching the Vaughn Kings stick those like 6 purples on and have those sweet like jerseys on. Yeah. It gets you guys fired up, but I think it also gets us fired up.
It's everyone fired up.
It gets me fired up. Like I remember like seeing one of my most iconic U16 photos that I've ever seen. I don't even know who took it. I think it was Paul Kidd who took it, but buddy of mine. It had Perfetti and Ty Tullio. And I don't know if you remember them, but like they were a heck of a Vaughn Kings duo. And I mean, yeah, like they're tough guys to live up to, but like I think your team is doing great so far this year. And I honestly think you guys are a big contender. Like especially in those purples when you got the confidence booming, eh?
I feel like it intimidates the other team a little bit too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh yeah, that's perfect point. And honestly, that's just a great way to wrap this up, because honestly, just awesome to talk to you, Logan. And honestly, we're so happy to have you on the pod, and just best of luck with the rest of the season with Vaughn, and best of luck at the OHL draft, man.
Thank you so much, guys. It was awesome to be on here.
All right. And we're back from an interview with forward Logan Sawyer from the Vaughn Kings U16 AAA program. Honestly, one of the most fun interviews we've had, Ryan, and my goodness, incredible player in and of himself there. First off, one of the things I first noticed when watching him, he has the size aspect, but he uses the size really to his advantage out there. He's physical down low. He really uses his body as leverage. I mean, he talked about it himself, using that size and that strength. I mean, if you got it, you might as well use it. Down there in the corners, just pushing guys off the puck, causing turnovers in that aspect, I think.
Yeah, no, he's really, really good. Like physical, plays the game the right way, gets after it. The big thing about him is he's got like excellent hands, excellent finishing ability. Like those goals that he got when we were there against Brantford were unbelievable. The one he kind of, I don't know, he was in a tight spot and he kind of like pulled it in and just ripped it top corner with a poster there. It was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous goal. I had to do like kind of a loop around and walk around after that one. I was just kind of like, kind of reminiscing about what just happened. It was unbelievable to watch. Really, really fun player to watch. Like he's a high-end goal scorer, really, really high-end goal scorer, high-end finisher, really, really good player, really fast. And that elite finishing ability is something that teams are going to notice at the next level. OHL teams are going to be salivating watching his games. Like he could be a really high pick. Like he's really, really good player, right?
Oh, absolutely. And to your great point there about his finishing ability, he can finish in multiple ways too. When you watch him, you mentioned there with his ability to finish in tight with that shot, like whether it be like the shot from a bit out or that shot in tight and kind of roof it. He gets down in that net front area. He'll bang pucks in, or he's got the hands too to be able to kind of maneuver in front, maintain puck possession, and kind of have that silky sweet finish that is entertaining to see in that aspect. But also he uses his hands. He's got the finesse for such a big player as well. He's got that range of motion that you talk about so much there, where he's able to maintain the puck, possession of the puck, kind of maneuver it in a way where he can kind of drive the net or drive down low and keep guys off of him and away from the puck. So he keeps on having it and he's able to find his players, find his teammates, so he can feed them the puck for scoring opportunities as well. But then you look at him. We've talked about him offensively here. Then you look at him defensively in his two-way game. We talk about his work ethic down low in the corners. You watch him on the back check, getting back hard. He's relentless on the back check. When someone else has the puck on the opposition there on the rush there, he's one of the first guys back trying to hustle, cause a turnover, and not give them an easy zone entry in that aspect. And he's a guy. He does play center, which is huge for him, where he kind of comes down low. He's an outlet option for his teammates, whether it be the D making a little slip pass or his forwards making a pass to him. He's kind of got a really complete game as well in that aspect, Ryan.
Yeah, complete 200-foot player, like unbelievable player, wins draws, great hands, unbelievable hands. I mean, if the puck's in kind of a scrum, like he's got those excellent hands to kind of stick a stick in there and then just pull it out clean and get off with it. Like he's great with his hands. Like he's a lacrosse player. I posted an excellent finish in another like patented Logan Sawyer goal, like a excellent finish in tight, roofed it. That was from the summer. And a friend of the show, Brad McDonnell, Angus McDonnell's dad, made a comment. He said, "No, he's an excellent lacrosse player." And these lacrosse guys, they come by it honestly, like like that. It's those hands, that skill, like it's really translatable between the two sports, between hockey and lacrosse. And he's like an incredibly talented athlete. Let's just say that first and foremost, like just an incredibly gifted player and really, really elite. Like, I don't know, that game against Brantford, he was the player of the game. I mean, between him and Lucas Carmiras, I thought they were the best players in that game. They really stood out. Like there was other guys that were good, like we mentioned O'Reilly and other guys, but a lot of good players in that game. That was a great game. But Logan Sawyer, man, he kind of took it. He was the game breaker, man. He basically
figuratively and literally. Figuratively and literally, for that matter, Ryan. When you say you did, for lack of better words, he took the bull by the horns there. Really dominated that game. He was a game changer for them, and he had like I mentioned, he had the game winning goal and the insurance marker in that game itself. So it was massive performance from him in a big tournament, in a big game, might I add too, because that game, I think we talked about it before. We thought that was going to be a real decided game for how the rest of that group was going to play out, and it did. It ended up being Vaughan took it, and they kept going and they ran with it, and kind of Brantford ended up stumbling a bit after that game there, in that respect. But it was a heck of a game between those two. And Logan Sawyer, might add, we talked about the player, but the person off the ice, just incredible, just an outstanding teammate, an outstanding person. It was honestly, I mentioned it to you afterwards. We talked about last year when we talked to Joey Costanzo from the Marlborough goaltender, now for the Niagara Ice Dogs, how after we talked to him, we were like, man, I'd draft that kid in an instant just with his personality and who he is off the ice. I had that same feeling after talking to Logan. It was so awesome. He's such a great personality. He generally has a genuine passion for the game too, which is something you just love to see in that aspect. So just once again, we can't thank Logan enough for coming on the pod here. So on that note, we'll jump into Group 3, Ryan. We'll start off with the group winner in that group. The North York Rangers went undefeated, kind of a dominating performance from them throughout the round robin there in their group. We're going to skip a player I think a lot of people know of, Kieron Walton, for a bit because we had an outstanding interview with him coming up for them. So we'll jump into some other players from the North York Rangers here. The first player I kind of wanted to mention was actually Kieron's brother, Connor Walton. I think he can be, people might underrate this player sometimes, given sometimes they may see Kieron at the forward and his dominating presence offensively. Connor, I think, is dominating defensively. Watching him with his size, he's about 6'3". He's a heavy player. Down low, he's got that edge to him where he's got aggressiveness. He's physical. He's laying the body. He's using his stick to cross check, get in there, not give up anything. Guys, when they're batting against him down low, it's not a fun time. But also, he doesn't overcomplicate things. He plays a simple game, but not simple as in it's too kind of lackadaisical type thing. It's simple where he makes the right play. He makes the play he needs to make. He finds a way to get shots through from the point as well. And honestly, every time I've seen Connor Walton, I keep liking his game more and more, right?
Yeah, no, he's really good. He's big and really, really strong, really tough below the dots. Like he plays a physical game. Excellent first pass. Like he's a great skater too. Really, really good defenseman. I like him as well. Another good defenseman on that team that we both really like a lot, Kieron Atchison, number 77 defenseman. He got over a point per game in the tournament, goal and 5 assists there. Really, really good player. Like great skater, excellent skater, really excellent feet, skilled, and throws some big hits. Like really, really excellent, solid defenseman, right?
Oh, I love this player so much. Every time I see him, his mobility that you just mentioned there.
Yeah.
He's got that offensive instinct, that offensive aggressiveness where he's always looking to jump in, kind of turn a 2v2 rush that per se into an odd man rush, carry the puck up ice himself. But I also love the little swag. We talk about swagger a lot with different players, and he's got a little bit of swagger, a little bit of moxie to him when he's playing out there. He loves having fun. You can tell when you watch him play, he's just having fun out there, which is something I like to see. It's important. It's when we talk about the NHL. When I talk about the NHL a lot, I like to think of it as it's men playing a kids game. It's fun. It's hockey. Have some fun, and I love watching him. He's having fun out there. He's making plays. He's showing off his skill, but he's also being effective at the position he plays at defense there. In that aspect, he's an outstanding player for his team. So can't help it every time you watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean Atchison
awesome.
out there. So another D we'll mention here as well. Nathan Omari on defense there, right shot D. Aggressive offensively. He's a very offensive defenseman. Moves well. He's got the mobility. We posted a highlight goal where we actually combined these past two D here. Because Sean Atchison laid a nice hit, and then Omari turned it into a nice end-to-end rush goal with a snipe. So he's got a shot that he can use. He's got a quick, nice release with some accuracy on it. But he's always looking. He moves the puck up well. But his skating sets him up a lot on the ice there in that aspect as well, I think, on defense there for him. And then another player I wanted to get into. I think you're a big fan of this player too. Luke Ellenas at forward there. You're a big fan of this kid as well, Ryan, I think, eh?
Yeah, I was taking some video. I took a video of one period, just see if I could get some Kieron Walton stuff, maybe some Ellenas stuff, Chris Brown, whoever. There's a lot of good players on this team, and we'll talk more about the rest of them. But, it ended up being that Luke Ellenas got the big goal when I was taking video of that one period there. And it's just that seeing eye shot. Like he was in the corner and like the goalie was down, covering the bottom half of the net, and he just ripped it in the top corner. And like I don't know like how many guys like trust their shooting accuracy to try that shot. But like he went for it and put it right, like perfect shooting, hit the spot, perfect shooting accuracy on that particular play. And it kind of brings me to like a point about goalies, like not to harp, like I can't remember who the goalie was, but not to harp on that, but like I find like a lot of goalies these days, they're down when it's like when the play is in the corner. I think the only time the goalie should really be down like that is when it's behind the net, because like these guys like they can pick those corners, like when it's in the corner, like I think standing up is probably the play, but not to apology to the goalie there, but like I just think that's a thing like that's worth noting. But Ellenas, like we also had that video of his penalty shot goal. That was fun to kind of put on Instagram there, and that got a lot of attention. Like he's got that flair, like he's got major swag on the ice, like really, really like awesome player, lots of style points, awesome to watch, really, really fun to watch. And I think he's a smart player. Like I think he moves well, like moves to the right spots, and very cerebral. Like I think OHL teams are gonna like him a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, great point there with the way he moves into good spots on the ice with his spatial awareness. But also another aspect I liked from him in the whole tournament was his aggressiveness, where he gets in the corners and he's not afraid to whether it be drive the net or in the corners. He's just tough to knock off the puck uses his body and the strength he has to his advantage ultimately to create a lot more offensively for his team there and himself in that aspect as well. And we'll get into another player. I'll let you honestly jump right into him because you mentioned him a second ago. Chris Brown, another great player, eh?
I love watching Chris Brown. I've been a big fan of his since the summer on that Henrik hockey team. They were on a tear. A lot of these guys, like most of these guys were on that team, right? It was pretty much North York. But Chris Brown, the Mohawk 10-2 edges, is just unbelievable how he utilizes that, zips through and into the zone. And he has a puck a lot. Like he's really, really highly skilled, really, really elite forward with that high skill, great hands. And like he's able to just create offense in a variety of ways. He's that spark plug for them. And I think he's like really key, like kind of an interesting player, like just highly skilled, like maybe slightly below average size, but no one can touch him, right? He's just like so smooth and so excellent on those edges and great skater, right?
No, absolutely. It's such a great point you made there. He's just so slippery on the ice in that aspect. So then another few players other than the goalie, another goalie here I want to pop in here, but Matthew Patry, Owen Dunning, Gregory Toropsev, another few guys who I think had really solid good showings at the Silver Stick in that ass there. And then I really wanted to mention here their goaltender, Carson Chartier, especially. He came from up north, but he's been with North York, and we've talked about it countless times, I think, where he's a game changer for them in the crease.
Oh yeah,
he's constantly making big saves. He's in position, and he's aware of his spatial surroundings in the crease. He's got the quick athleticism, the reactionary saves, but he's just an outstanding goaltender who's if they make a mistake at North York, he's there to back them up and say, hey, there to make a big clutch save for them. So Chartier is a goalie. I'm definitely excited to keep watching as the season goes on here from North York in that aspect. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's excellent. Like unbelievable goalie. Like you've mentioned a lot of stuff, and I agree with all that. I noticed him as well. Really, really good goalie. A player we haven't mentioned yet, Rowan Top.
Yep.
Really, really good defenseman. I think he takes care of his own zone first. He's kind of that stay-at-home D. Really, really good in his own zone. Like can't really beat him off the rush. He's really strong, good below the dots, plays a good game, great first pass. May not always get like the offensive numbers, but like in terms of his overall skating, like he's excellent, very, very, very sturdy, very balanced. And I think he takes care of his own zone and plays his position extremely well.
Heck of a hitter. Oh,
yeah.
Crushing hits.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Watched him lay one hit on some guy in some player on Clarington. Oh, I felt the pain. I felt that kid's pain standing there. I apologize to the Clarington player, but oh my gosh, that hit was crushing. I just had to bring that up. But honestly, North York, well, we haven't mentioned one player, and that's because he's been out. And she's coming back soon, Kevin He. And when he comes back, oh my goodness, watch out, folks. Watch out. That's going to make them even more dangerous when Kevin He comes back with his speed and hands. Oh, Lord, Ryan.
I am like I cannot wait for him to come back. I mean, people are like, buckle up. Let's just say that. Like he's the real deal. He's elite. Like at the top of the draft. Like he's in that first round conversation, and he's going to be fun to watch when he's back.
Absolutely. So on that note, we'll get into the next team from North York's group there. We'll jump into Elgin, the Elgin Middlesex Chiefs. They had a really solid tournament as well. First player I want to bring up here, a couple players who I've become familiar with here, Colin Langstaff, Dylan Richter, a couple both players who are really blade drivers for Elgin there. Both kind of different games. I noticed Langstaff right shot, Richter left shot, but both I think they play in the same line. I remember them watching their preseason game, and then I remember catching the game in the Silver Stick, and both are able to find the seams, find the lanes of passing. They got a heck of a shot. They're able to put the puck in the net. Both are just unreal players for that Elgin team, and it just seems like Elgin's always got a few players who are kind of just at another level every year that I see them.
Yeah. Honestly, Dylan Richter had a great tournament for me. When I was watching, he got a pass and he was coming in at full speed, and he just kind of made a quick move and then roofed it upstairs. It was a really, really high-end goal, really, really elite goal. So the more I watch Dylan Richter, the more he's growing on me, because like he's got that speed. He's got those puck skills. He's just an excellent player, excellent 200-foot center. Really, really like takes a lot of control over the game and dictates play. He's really good. And Colin Langstaff, like just, I mean, he's got great jump, great explosiveness, excellent passer. Like the way he just kind of jumps into space and he garners a lot of attention. So he'll basically like 3 guys will be trying to get him because he'll have the puck forever. And then he just kind of like, he plays with them a little bit. And then at the last second, when they think they're about to get him, feeds a gorgeous pass and sets up a goal, right?
Yeah. Honestly, you said it so well. There's such a great point. That passing is unreal from Langstaff, especially, and such great points on Richter. Another player I'll mention who stood out when I got to see a bit of a game between them and Clarington, Ethan Facina. He's a player who had a solid effort there for Elgin in that respect. I don't know any other players you wanted to pop in there, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I liked Facina as well. Like he's got a good long stride, good stride power, good speed. I think Alex Joyce is pretty smooth, good player. And Julian Stubgen, he's a solid defenseman, like really, really kind of good on the back end there, like thick and kind of lays the body and plays the game right. So I think that's about does it for them. Yeah, no, I think that's all for the players I wanted to mention on this episode.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so I guess that means we'll jump into the next team, the Clarington Toros. Oh, we'll jump into the first player who you got the chance to talk to in our very first episode of this season, Jacob Tarian. Oh my gosh. Watching him live is a treat, Ryan. My goodness, you're watching him, the power he plays with. I remember watching the interview you had with him and when he talked about the fearlessness that he plays with and the kind of, he's not afraid to go up against those big guys. He was not lying about that. He gets in there. I watched him a bunch of times in a North York game. I think he was going up against some bigger players. North York has some big boys. And he was in there. He was battling for it, and he was not afraid to kind of push them around just as much as they were trying to push him around. But his skill and his skating, the power he generates in that stride, the finesse he has, he's not afraid to take on multiple guys. But he does it, I think, when the time's right. But the offense he generates and the play driving he has is unreal.
Yeah, definitely. Like he's shorter, but he's built really well. Like we talked about that on the at the previous episode. That was after the London tournament, first episode of the year. So check that one out. Had a great chat with him. Great kid. We had a great talk, like off camera as well. So like really, really was fun to catch up with him and fun to watch him again at the Silver Stick. Really good player, electric offensively. He's always buzzing, always creating chances. So always great to catch Jacob Tarian in a game. A player who's really growing on me the more I watch is Blake Wright.
Yep.
I remember after the London tournament, I forgot to bring him up. I remember in the London tournament, he kind of cut middle and roof one, and he's just an unbelievable player. Looks like he led their team in scoring here. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get to see Clarington as much in this tournament, but I have seen Blake Wright quite a bit. I've seen him in league games. He's doing really well, like really, really good. He's not afraid to attack the middle, really, really fast, great hands, highly skilled player. I think you like Wright as well, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think you said it best there. All those reasons you mentioned are why he stood out to me in the Silver Stick. So honestly, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but honestly, just so many great points there. So I'll jump into the next player I really liked as well, Connor D'Angelo, center for Clarington there. Kind of a smaller player as well on Clarington in that aspect, but a player I found he's just everywhere. He was making an impact everywhere. He was finding a way to drive wide and drive the net, not afraid to be a presence in front despite being a bit smaller, but also was an impactful player in terms of the two-way game defensively, constantly getting back. He helps out down low with his D. If they're in a battle down low, he'll get in there and help dig the puck loose, or he's an option for a slip pass. He's their player I think had some consistently good efforts in the Silver Stick in that aspect as well, Ryan. So those are, I don't know if there's any other players you wanted to add in that specifically as well, but those were, I know you mentioned 3 players who really stood out for me there.
I'll mention one more. I like Nolan Laird. I think he's kind of a tall, lanky centerman, really, really good speed. So he uses that speed effectively, and he's good with the puck and makes good decisions. So quickly wanted to mention him. Going through the rest of the roster here, like Joshua Brady. I mean, I really like watching him play. Really, really good skating D. But that's about it.
Yep. Sweet. All right. So next team we'll get into here after Clarington, North Central Predators. There's a couple of guys I wanted to mention, or a few guys specifically. We'll start off with kind of a big name who's been having a big year in the ETA, Ethan Procession with North Central. Didn't quite see the results in terms of putting the puck in the back of the net as much as I'm sure he would have liked. But in terms of the tools and the qualities that he has that's made him so successful so far in the ETA, they were definitely apparent. The power and the stride that he's able to generate, the way he's able to battle in the corner, use his body effectively, win puck battles. He's got a heck of a shot as well. Just the overall tools that he has, it definitely, when I watching him for the first time, when you see all the points he's put up so far, and then you see him in live and you see the tools that he has, it all kind of like meshes together, and it's like a puzzle piece. It's like a couple puzzle pieces matching together with procession there, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like he's a big, big, strong forward, and he's mean, like really, really gets after it, really physical, really tough, great shot, like really, really strong, big player. So he's going to garner a lot of attention. I like Isaac Larmond as well. Like he's a big, big forward as well, like really, really good player. Nathan Schaap had a big tournament on defense there for them. And I like Evan Gilbert as well, another big forward that's doing well for them.
Oh gosh, I was gonna say those two. I was gonna say all those names. So honestly, kudos, great minds think alike there, Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Great job there. Honestly, I was just gonna list especially Schaap and Gilbert. Schaap's got the mobility and the size there with the strength he has. So honestly, we might as well just jump into the next team, Southern Tier, because you just took the words right out of my mouth, and I don't want to repeat you too much. So we'll jump into the next team here. A couple of players I liked, especially on Southern Tier. First guy on defense, Chinowski. One of the things with him is his mobility is a big thing for him. His ability to kind of escape pressure. He's poised with the puck. He uses his feet well to kind of just escape, move into open space swiftly and quickly, and then find a way to get the puck up ice, either with a quick and solid first pass or carry it up himself. He's also got an outstanding stick that I noticed where he's able to kind of knock pucks loose, get them in little areas, and not take penalties at that aspect. Really solid D for Southern Tier there. Another player, Tristan Chevalier. He's a player, I think he's hopped back a bit back and forth between forward and defense this year, but a really, really smooth skater, really shifty player. He's kind of smaller, but that shiftiness really comes into play. He's aggressive. He uses his edges really nicely to kind of mohawk or twist and turn, use that escapability. But aggressive. There's times where he uses that really effectively, and it helps with the offensively and helps him get out of the zone, which is a great sight to see in that aspect. But Southern Tier had a solid showing there as well, I think, Ryan.
Yeah, and I mean, I think their team they've had quite a few injuries, so they're at the bottom of this table. I was talking to their coach a little bit ago now, a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying like they've had a lot of injuries. So once they get back to full strength, like looking forward to seeing them in the future again. And I like those players you mentioned as well. So yeah, without further ado, I mean, should we jump into our next interview? We got Kieron Walton, huge, like really, really good, fast player. So I mean, kind of foreshadowing a bit there. Let's just jump right in the interview and get right after it with the interview with Kieron Walton.
All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star forward from the North York Rangers U16 AAA program, Kieron Walton. Kieron, thanks for joining us. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. We're pumped to have you on. I know Ryan first told me about you in the summer when he got to go to Summer League, the Kearney Valley Summer League, and he's like, man, you got to watch this number 8 kid on Henrik Hockey. He's unreal. Yeah. And then I got the chance to see it. I was like, holy crap, Ryan was right. This kid's an absolute unreal hockey player. And I mean, watching at the Silver Stick, you got 8 points in 5 games. Your team went undefeated in the round robin, made it to the quarterfinal. Honestly, I thought you guys had a really great quarterfinal there. Really came at Markham hard and just kind of a couple unlucky bounces here and there as well. But can you just talk to us about what that Silver Stick experience was like for yourself and your team as a whole there?
Yeah, of course. It was a lot of fun. I was not too happy with how the team did. We lost in the quarters. I wanted to advance, but we did go 4-0, so I was happy with that. And we're missing a couple of guys. So other than that, I was happy. It was a great experience, playing in front of a ton of people and stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you talk about missing some guys. Like one of your key pieces was out there with Kevin He. I mean, the chemistry you guys have there. I mean, yeah. When he comes back, I'm sure you're probably looking forward to when Kevin comes back, eh?
Oh, 100%. Can't wait to play. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch you guys playing together again. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, just the speed he plays with is unreal. But I mean, getting in your game now, it's fairly obvious to anyone who watches you play that you have the size and the strength out there on the ice. I mean, just how would you say you like to use those two assets to your advantage when you're out there in the game there?
You know what? I like using it a lot. I like beating guys wide with speed. I don't think a lot of people have the size and speed combination that I have, and then go along with the strength. So I just use it to my advantage, you know, just not pick on, but like go against guys that are smaller and stuff. So that's how I do it.
I like it. You could say pick on, because I was just gonna say, with that size and strength you have, it's got to be intimidating. You must like kind of using it as almost like an intimidating presence out there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I like throwing a couple hits around too.
I love it. I feel bad for some of the smaller guys too, especially with the size. Just kind of give them a little nudge and then come out with the puck there.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Because I mean, you made a perfect point there. Because there's no one. I think there's no one. There's Ryan will agree with me. There's no one like you with the size and speed, exactly like you said there. And Ryan mentioned to me, like when he saw you the first time, he's like, man, he's got the size, he's got the speed and everything there, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like the skating and like when you cut middle at full speed and with your like size and your power and your speed, like, and then you unleash that wrister, it's like unbelievable to watch. And I mean, a lot of that summer hockey was like non-contact. So like, I didn't get to see you throwing the body around. Like, I mean, you throw it a lot and like, you go for like the big hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, basically like when you catch somebody, like it's awesome to watch, but overall, like I mean, everyone at this late age group, they're looking to develop like different aspects of their game, and you guys are preparing for that next level. Is there any specific areas that you're looking at developing to prepare for like the next level, like the OHL?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like to work on my defensive game a little bit. I think I can get tightened up a bit, and definitely my face-offs, taking draws. I think get better on that as well.
Oh, so yeah, those are good things. Like a big thing with the draws, the puck skills and whatever. So that's good. And defensively, like just kind of taking care of your own zone. And is there anything more specific you're looking at, like just kind of checking down low, or is there anything specific in the defensive end you're trying to work on?
No, just everything defensive. You know, getting back, positional, everything.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like you got like, I mean, I think like. Honestly, for you, in terms of like your game, like you have a really, really strong stick. So like I think you're like you are good defensively just because like you're able to win so many puck battles, like get that heavy lean on the stick, win those pucks, and like I think you're really good that way. So
thank you.
Yeah, like in addition to the defense, like you're incredibly offensively gifted with your skating, like your hands. Those are great. And also like the puck distribution, like have all those things kind of come naturally to you, or like have you had to kind of like work to develop all those skills?
Some of it has come natural, some hasn't, you know. A lot of it has come natural though. Just I think I've been a little bit gifted with the natural, like seeing the ice and stuff. But I did work a lot in the summer as well. You know, I worked on my game a ton. Yeah, I play a lot of shinny as well. You know, you get creative playing shinny. So
that's awesome. I love hearing that, especially the shinny part too, because there's nothing better than playing with the boys out on the rinks and stuff.
Exactly.
Having a little fun out there too. But I mean, just in addition to that puck distribution that you have and seeing the ice so well, you've also got that incredible shot. I mean, it's so high end, and I mean, we've watched you countless times just cut middle and rip it top corner. Is that shot something that's also been fairly natural for you, or is that something you've really worked on especially?
I worked on it a lot in the summer. Just wanted to work on getting a better shot, getting a quicker shot off that's very accurate, very deadly to goalies. So, yeah, I worked on it a lot in the summer.
Absolutely, and it's clear that it's paying off, because watching you cut, I'm sure the opposition, as they watch you cut middle or something, and they see that kind of shot happening, everyone on the bench is probably going, oh God, here we go. There's another goal on the board. Or the goalie's probably thinking, oh crap, here we go again. That's unreal. That's an unreal aspect, I think, as well. But I mean, kind of being one of the best players in the draft and being so talented as you are, you're often faced with the opposition's best. They often give you their best effort, or they put their best defense on. How do you kind of view that challenge of going up against the best that the other team has to offer?
You know, I don't think about it too much. I'm used to it at this point, and you just got to keep playing your same game, and it'll come. If you keep playing the same game, don't change much up, it'll come.
Oh, that's a great perspective to have, especially just I remember, I think it was a event I went to a couple months ago, and you had like an amazing scoring chance or something. And then right after they made a line change, and I could hear the coach go, "Stop giving that guy so much space."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. Like there we
Yeah.
go.
I've heard that before.
That's something you don't get on video or anything like that, which I absolutely love because it just highlighted kind of how dangerous you are on the ice and kind of that people are always giving you their best, which is something honestly it's tough to see tough to face on the ice, but it's honestly one of the best compliments I think you can get as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then jumping into kind of taking an NHL aspect here, are there any players in the NHL you model your game after?
Yes, Alexander Barkov and Quinn Byfield.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ryan's pumping his fist there. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah.
And like Barkov, power player, right? Like power forward, the epitome of what you're trying to do out there. Very similar. And Byfield, like the way he cuts middle and rips it kind of reminds me of you. Like it's a really good comparable for you, Quentin Byfield. Yeah. So I think you're a great forward, like wing, center, whatever it is. It's just awesome to see you play. So you've had a lot of successes, obviously, like in your minor hockey career. But if you had to pick one, like what's your favorite hockey memory so far in your whole career?
Jeez, I can't think. I got to think about it.
Yeah? Take it. So you guys had like the Henrik hockey. Like what's that like kind of getting those like little championship wins and all that? What do you think? Like are those kind of the moments that stand out to you?
You know, just bonding with the guys and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say the most recent Carnival win we had against Vaughan Kings. That was a lot of fun bonding with a bunch of guys. That was a blast. I had a lot of fun doing that.
You think it's those like little kind of moments where like the tournaments, like going to the hotel, just kind of screwing around in the hotel and all that.
Most definitely.
Hanging with messing with the hotel staff, I guess a bit. Maybe that's not the most respectful thing to do, but maybe I did that a few times in the hotels. But just getting to experience that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the better things, and I think Ryan will agree. Like, just bonding with your teammates, that's got to be one of the best things you can do.
Oh 100%. That's huge. Like, and like, I mean, like, hopefully your biggest minor hockey memories are like to come, right? Like, you guys have a lot coming this season. Like a star forward with your team, Kevin He's been out. I know you two are like the dynamic duo. So you've been kind of missing your go-to guy there. So I mean, like in terms of hockey memories, like maybe we can ask you this later, and you'll
probably ask you this at the end of the season, eh?
Yeah,
man. We'll probably get the better response at the best response at the end of the season when it's all said and done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You guys got a lot of potential with North York there, so it's But we'll pivot away from hockey here for a bit. So, what is your go-to music at the rink and then away from the rink?
Both country. I like listening to a lot of Luke Combs, a lot of Morgan Wallen, stuff like that. Definitely country.
Big country guy?
Yep, big country guy.
Thank you. I love that. I love hearing the country guys because I'm a big country guy too.
Yeah.
Big Luke Combs guy. That album from Morgan Wallen is pretty good, but
great album.
Boots and Heart's coming back in the summer. That stuff's country music. I love hearing those guys because not many people are big fans of country.
It's underrated. It's definitely underrated for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then next one for you. We haven't asked this one in a while, but it's a unique one. So you're stranded on an island, and you can only bring 3 things with you to the island. What 3 things are you bringing?
Definitely my phone.
That's like Connor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely my phone. Let's go. I'm gonna bring a hockey stick, and let's bring a buck. Let's bring a buck.
I like it. I like the variety. You got the phone, you got the hockey stick, and the book there.
Perfect.
So that's a perfect blend, especially for you. And then the hockey stick is a great segue into the last one because you do both of these things that I'm about to ask fairly often. I mean, we saw you in the first game of the tourney at Silver Stick dangle a guy on Elgin and make him kind of look silly. Apologies to him. And then we've seen you cut middle and snipe. So would you rather snipe top cheese on the goalie or dangle kind of like in pot 1?
Definitely dangle.
Oh yeah, end up on the highlight reel, little SD top 10. Maybe end up on the
exactly.
Pod some more.
Exactly. It's got to be a good finish too.
Sorry.
It's got to be a good finish too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can't dangle and then kind of like mess it up.
Exactly. You got to finish it.
That's perfect. It's like almost in basketball where they're like break a guy's ankle and then like just airball it.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. I mean, I think Ryan will agree with you. We're definitely gonna see you dangling, sniping a lot more this season. So
well, he like Kieron just mentioned the SC top 10. Like I'm almost expecting you to be on there, buddy. I love watching you. You're an unbelievable player, and just
Thank you.
great to talk to you, eh, Connor?
absolutely. So on that note, we appreciate you taking the time. We know you guys are busy there with North York, got a lot going on. So we really appreciate you taking the time. Just best of luck. I know you're going to the GTHL Top Prospects game soon.
Yep.
So congrats on that. But also best of luck the rest of the season. Best of luck at the OHL draft.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, there was our interview with Kieron Walton from the North York Rangers U16 AAA program, and it was awesome getting to talk to him. It's been a pleasure watching this year, Ryan. I mean, he highlighted it himself where he is a unique talent. He's got that size, but he's got that skill on that skating and all the tools that go with the size that make him so dangerous and so unique. Because you don't often see it with a player. I mean, he's 6'5", and he's got the skating to go with it, where most guys who are kind of that size, they got that heavier stride. They don't got that speed necessarily. They don't got that light, quick feet that he's got. And he's got those tools where he'll blow by guys. He's got that quick edge where he cuts middle that we've talked about so many times. So that unicorn almost of being that 6'5", figure, plus he's still filling out. Plus he's got that quick feet. Plus he's got the edges. I think he mix anyway. He's got the skill and the range of motion with that size. It's like, plus he's been gifted with that hockey IQ. It's like, where do you stop with this, Ryan?
Prototypical power forward, right? Like really, really good, big body. I mean, tough to move him, tough to like, so he protects the puck well. And with that size and that speed, like he's really fast. When he steps on the ice, like your eyes are glued on him.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it. I don't care who you are. Like, you're going to notice him right away within the first 10 seconds of his first shift. Precisely. He flies and he likes to play the game with speed. He doesn't really like, he likes to just always be at speed. So like if he can get the puck off a turnover, if he get it off a pass or someone shoots it up the boards to him, he likes to always be moving. So he's not going to like move around slow and cerebrally. He's just going to kind of just start ripping around like and using that speed right away. And that's kind of his game. Big, long loops, unbelievable skater. Like, let's face it, like that stride power, the big, long stride, such a natural skating stride. And I think it starts there for him. Just an unbelievable skater. And like we posted a couple of those highlights on Instagram, just unbelievable goals, like ripping shots, like unbelievable shot release and the power on that shot. He's just a big, big, strong, powerful player, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's not shy to use that strength as well. Down in the corners, kind of push guys around in that respect. And then we talked about with him, the hockey IQ he has. He's able to see the ice so well and distribute the puck. He's got that dual threat aspect where he's got the puck distribution and plus that deadly shot he's got. It's dangerous. And one of the things that stood out to me actually was his ability when we talked about, hey, what are you looking to develop? He's able to recognize kind of something he wants to work on is that defensive aspect of his game. Because obviously he's got all tools offensively. He's got that figured out. So it's like that ability to recognize, hey, I want to get better defensively here to make myself more of a complete player. So to have that maturity and that hockey, that intelligence to recognize that is big for me, as well as I think as well the fact that he's looking at faceoffs as well as the centerman, as a guy who plays center, he's really looking to improve that. So being able to recognize those things, those are big for me as well. I think when talking to see that recognition and the maturity from him.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I think he's right. Like, I think his defensive game could use a little bit of improvement, but like, that's great that he recognizes it, right? Like, one of the coolest things we saw last year was Bo Akey. Yeah. When we interviewed him he ended up being drafted by Barrie in the first round with Waterloo. He admitted that he maybe needed to work on his defense a little bit, and he brought it up on his own, just like Walton brought it up on his own, just like, yeah, exactly. Right. So like, I love that. I think it's great. And then it kind of makes you look at a thing and you're like, well, if he was, that willingness is huge. he's teachable, coachable, right? And I think that another thing I want to bring up about him, like obviously gifted offensively, like just unbelievable hands, unbelievable skill, and shot is awesome. Speed is unbelievable. But I really like how he likes to, he finishes his checks every time. Whether he might miss the guy or like absolutely like level him, but like no matter what, he's gonna finish the check. And I think that keeps players honest. Like when they know he's on the ice, they gotta like get rid of the puck quick because they're kind of like thinking like, oh man, they know he's gonna finish the check. They know he's not gonna do a flyby.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge because it keeps the opponent honest, and it's going to cause a lot of turnovers, whether he's able to get them to cough it up or whether he's just going to get them to move it maybe a little quicker than they want to, or hold the stick a little too tight, cause turnovers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's such a great point there, Ryan, with that aspect, because I think it when you cause turnovers, it creates more chances for your team, and ultimately it just opens up more space and more time for him to get the puck himself or his teammates as well, which is huge.
Yeah.
And honestly, just watching him play, he's a lethal threat everywhere, and he's clear. It's clear he's not shy. He's not shy about getting the opposition's best as well. When we talk about with him, he doesn't view it as he's not afraid of it. Like I talked about bringing up, it's a challenge, and he's like, I gotten used to it. You know, he understands. Hey, I got to be at my best every night. I'm one of the better players out on the ice. I'm gonna get the best. And I'm gonna deliver, and he consistently finds a way to deliver for his team, which is massive in that aspect. So honestly, it was just a phenomenal getting to talk to him before and after the interview. So once again, I just can't thank Kieron enough for coming on and talking to us on the podcast there. So on that note, we'll jump into the last group for this Silver Stick series, group number 5, featuring the Markham Majors. We have an interview coming up with one of the Markham Majors players, Liam Greentree, so stay tuned for that after this little bit on group number 5 here. So we'll start off. We'll get into the majors here. Just get right into it, Ryan. Obviously, I mentioned we'll get into Greentree later, but another guest we previously had on from the majors, Zane Perek. He had a really good Silver Stick as well. Really just using his mobility, skating, opening up lanes, using his edges to be mobile. I noticed he's really consistently using that for his escape, to his advantage, to escape pressure. He's poised with the puck. He's cool, calm, and collected. He's got no panic in his game. I mean, we talked about it so much previously. I don't know. Is there anything you want to add on Perek there before we get into any more of the majors there?
Yeah, we've talked about him a lot. Like he's so smooth, so mobile. He's that defenseman that like he rushes the puck well. Just such an excellent skater, an excellent overall player. He had a great tournament here. Was over a point per game, and they made it far in the tournament. They almost made it to the final. They had an excellent tournament, and Zane, like he's key for them. Like he's a really, really good defenseman. So yeah, I don't have too much more to add. I would just say go to that other episode. We talked about him a lot, right? That was a recent one, right? That was one of the.
Yep, it was our episode before the Silver Stick episode, actually. I think. So
yeah,
definitely go check that one out, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then looking at this team, I mean, I really like Anthony Giacalone.
Yep.
He's really good. Like he's got a great motor, really, really fast and powerful skater. So he's always buzzing and always kind of really, really good 200 feet, like good defensively, like plays an honest game, doesn't miss any assignments. I really like him a lot.
Absolutely. And I'll get in, seeing as you made such great points with Jack alone, I'll jump into Jack Dean here. Great player with the majors there. Just one of the biggest things with him is his unreal release, his shot. He's got the goal scoring ability, but he's also really strong in his skates. He's tough to knock off the puck. Really good down low in the zone there, working off the cycle, but he's also able to get into space, whether it be without the puck or working in open space with the puck, and then use that shot to his advantage. Great two-way game as well, kind of complete player, puts himself in good spots defensively. Really solid center as well off the face-off. Jack Dean's an outstanding player, I think, as well there for Markham for the majors. And then another player we'll get into, Carson Hall. Another player, kind of consistent with this Markham team. He's kind of making things happen. He plays in every situation for the majors. I see him play PK. They put him out on the power play. He's got a nice shot. He's always putting himself in good spots. He gets after it. He's got a quick stick lifts and all that fun stuff in that respect. But he's just a reliable, complete player for them, I think, Ryan.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Those two are great. Like Jack Dean, like you mentioned, natural goal scorer, rips those shots. I've seen him get some score on some unbelievable shot releases, and he's good. Carson Hall, another good forward, like really powerful skater. Another good one on this team. Couple good defensemen. I mean, there's also Alex Kostov, who we mentioned before, another good forward. But Lex Terrence and Taishi McNally, just a couple really good smooth skating defensemen. Like, this is just a really good team overall, and like getting down to their goaltending, I think both goalies are great, like Andrew Galton and Jacob Gibbons. So just a really deep team. Like pretty much could go through the whole roster here. Like this, just a really solid team there with the majors.
I agree, and I'll toss in another name there too, Antonio Cerqua, from the majors there, another outstanding player, had a great tourney. Dylan Wolds on D there. Just like I honestly echo your sentiments. Just a deep team, an unreal team in that respect. And they also had a call up, Carter Kostich, 07 from the U15 Market Majors. He was looking good. He's a smaller kid, and it was fun watching him go up against North Hughes. He was actually called up for their quarterfinal against North York, and we could see a bit of the height difference between Kieron Walton and Kostich there. So it's fun seeing him. He's a fearless 07, so it'll be fun to see him in some U15 games for the U15 Market Majors, and also see him when his time comes around in his draft year next year. So definitely Carter Kostich is a player to keep an eye on when you get the chance to watch some of the 07. So be sure to check that out. So I think we covered a bit of bunch of the majors there. So we'll get into the other Markham team, same group. Markham Waxers this time. And Ryan, my goodness, I don't think we could start this team off any differently than if we start off with Frankie Morelli.
Oh my gosh. I was watching their game against Kitchener, and he had an open ice hit, and I swear, like every single person in the arena gasped.
Yeah.
It was huge. Like it was a huge hit. Like it was such a clean hit, gorgeous. Just caught him perfectly right in the middle of the ice. And it was on that rink one too. So everyone was just like, whoa, like it was just crazy. So good. And he's the real deal. Like, let's face it, like he's one of the top D in the draft. Excellent skater. It starts with his skating, like really powerful, great stride power. And then forwards, backwards, like his backwards skating, like I don't think there's going to be anyone beating him off the rush. He's one of those guys where, like, if you see him and you're like rushing as a forward, you might say, "Oh, there's Morelli over there. I'm going to maybe take the other side."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, his mobility is the way he moves on his edges. He transitions from forwards to backwards to forwards. Defending, his backwards skating is unreal, which is just such a huge aspect for him defending, especially off the rush. His gap control. Just his skating, for me, his biggest quality is his skating, and it sets him up everywhere on the ice. And to your points that you made, it's a massive aspect of his game with that aggressiveness that he plays with, where he's able to contribute defensively, but also be able to be aggressive offensively as well for the Waxers. So
yeah, big shot from the point too, right? Like he got a few goals in the tourney. Like he's got a big shot. He's got a cannon.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll jump in the next player from the Waxers there. Another player I like, Nate Aspinall. A big body player. Oh gosh, he was creating a lot. Really great shot from him. A really great tournament from him overall. Really stand out. Kind of play driver at the forward position for them. Just uses that big body really effectively as well. Once he gets going, he's tough to stop with his skating plus that body combined. He drives the net. I mean, he's like a freight train once he gets going. And look out defense, look out goaltender when he's coming down on you, eh?
Yeah, no, I like him a lot. I saw him a bit in the tournament, and he really stood out to me. And I went to the OMHA showcase, and there was a big game between the Waxers and Quinte. It was probably the marquee game of the event. And it was 3-3 tie late. Quinte ended up taking it 4-3, but Aspinall was buzzing. Like he had the puck a lot, driving wide, driving with the puck, excellent passes. Like he sees the ice so well, excellent passer. I believe he's really tall. I think he's almost 6'3", really tall forward. He's lanky. So he's got like that wide range of motion with his arms, like really quick hands. And he's an excellent playmaker. He drives a lot of the play, makes a lot of plays for them. And in the tournament, I mean, he was scoring goals. He was ripping shots, 8 points in the tournament in 4 games, like 4 goals and 4 assists, which is unbelievable. So yeah, like he's a player that, I really liked. Like I was really, really impressed with him at the Silver Stick and at that OMHA showcase as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And another player I really liked as well is Jack Good. He had a really good tournament. Pardon the pun there.
Jack Good is good.
Yep. Apologies for the puns for our terrible puns there, folks. But Jack Good, outstanding player. Just the smoothness that he plays with, his shiftiness out there. He's got the smooth hands combined with it. He's got the finishing ability. Finish in tight, finish with a nice shot as well. Seen countless highlights of him finishing with a nice little tipsy doodle dangle type of thing. But he had a really good Silver Stick as well. Using his outstanding offensive qualities to his advantage with his feet, combined with his hands and his skating and his poise with the puck and his ability to create time and space for himself. So he had another great tournament, I think, as well, Ryan.
Yeah, no, he's solid. Like he's a smaller forward, but he gets after it. Like no fear. Excellent player with a good finishing ability. He can score. So a lot of times, like Aspinall likes to set him up. So he's able to like find those spots in the slot and in the offensive zone. Like in Aspinall finds him, gets it on the tape, and then leads to a lot of goals for the Waxers here. Don Battaglia is another good one, solid forward for that team that stood out for me as well.
Yeah, and last but not least, I'll throw in there another name here, Owen Griffin. Surprise, actually, he's in 07 as well, actually. He was a smaller player, which comes with the fact that he's an underager, but he's a player I'm definitely looking forward to keep an eye on, so I just want to throw that out there with him. He was a kind of a force out there, despite being a smaller player out there. So I'm looking forward to watching him as he kind of grows and fills out a bit. Come next year in his draft year. So the Waxers were definitely a formidable opponent. They had a massive game against the Majors, and they kind of set that up, the Silver Stick, where the Majors and Waxers played so I guess you could say deciding game in that round robin there. So Waxers had a really good tournament. Look forward to watching them some more. But next team we'll get into here, Ryan, the Halton Hurricanes. I'll start off with kind of an easy player here to kind of single out here. Player we had previously on, Hunter McKenzie. We won't go into too much detail because we talked about it at length previously on our previous episode. So be sure to go check that one out. We had him on in our episode with Amari Sellers. I believe it was episode 3 we had him on. So if you want to go check that one out, go check that one out because we did talk about him a lot there and had a great interview with him. But he had a great Silver Stick, just doing his thing, just the two-way game he plays with, the strength, the presence he has on the ice, his ability to win draws, can contribute offensively with the shot, kind of good stick as well, creating turnovers, taking away passing lanes and all that. I don't know how much else I could say. We've talked about him so much. I don't want to sound too repetitive here, Ryan.
Yeah, no, he's just a really, really physical, plays the game hard. Another forward on that team, Chris Soares. He's really, really good. Like he's so fast. Like the ability to just kind of get up to full speed really, really quickly and just like drive play. Like, and he's good with the puck too. Like I know, like in that SCTA, McKenzie and Soares, they're kind of like near the top of the scoring, and for like you can see why, right? Like McKenzie with that power game and Soares with that like unbelievable skater and great shot, really, really electric offensively and highly skilled.
Yeah, absolutely. And I as we jump into another player here on defense now, Aiden Cormack is another player I think stood out as well. And I know you're a big fan of Aiden Cormack's game, I think, Ryan, as well, right?
Oh, big time. Like he was he's been kind of like their power play quarterback, and he's got an unbelievable shot from the point, really, really good. He rips it. He's got a cannon and just can absolutely, like, he can score. Like he's constantly getting goals and great puck distributor, but also really, really solid defensively, great skater, great in his own zone, tough below the dots, plays physically. And like he's kind of the top D on the team for me. Like just really, really kind of dictates play from the back end, great first pass, like basically good in all situations, all zone, PK, power play, really, really solid defenseman.
Yeah, for sure. So I think those are the three main ones. I think we both wanted to bring up. If there's any other ones you wanted to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, like you look at the stats here, Strano had a lot of points, but I wrote his name down a few times. Like he's long and like he's good and fast, like really, really tall, fast forward. And he got 6 points in 4 games. Like I noticed him creating offense, and yeah, I thought he was solid.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll jump into the next team as well. We had a really successful Silver Stick, I think. Kingston Junior Gales. I'll start off with one player, then I'll jump in. I'll let you jump in here with another player here. I'll start off with Thomas Elkins. I believe he's actually their captain. Really good tournament for him. He had a massive game and their first game of the tournament, where I guess some people would call it an upset over the majors, but he had a big game, scored a big goal on a breakaway. Just he's able to play in any situation. He's one of those reliable players you put out when you need a goal, when you need someone defending a goal. He got that. He was massive with them, and he kind of just he's a hard worker. Gets down there and creates chances for them, and he's a play driver for Kingston, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's a good player. And Nicholas Petrut is Petrut. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. He's another good forward for them. Got a couple goals in the tourney. Jacob Brown, the goalie, he's big. Like, he's a really, really big goalie, one of the bigger goalies in the draft. With that size, that's going to catch attention for OHL teams, and he was solid in the tourney as well. So yeah, jumping into the final team in the group, the Kitchener Junior Rangers. They had a player here that I wanted to mention. They're at the bottom of the table there, but their captain was really strong. Luke Blankhorn didn't register any points in the tournament, but like just from the eye test, I like the way he moves. He's a good skater. I think that there's something there. I think that he's gonna be. I saw him get a couple big hits. Like, just a solid player for them. Like, really kind of like a flagship D on the back end for that Kitchener team.
Absolutely, and I'll throw in another player here, Simeone. I apologize.
Oh yeah, I like him. Yeah,
Alex
Mobile.
Simeone.
Yeah,
number 7 on defense for them. A mobile player, aggressive player as well. Kind of a quarterback on the power play for them as well. Really creating a lot of offense for them. He's an aggressive player, not afraid to carry the puck of ice, but also makes a really solid first pass for Kitchener, I think, as well. So definitely a player to keep an eye on from Kitchener there, Ryan, I think, as well.
Yeah.
On that note, though, we like we mentioned, we got our last interview on tap here for our audience members. Liam Greentree, outstanding player and outstanding interview. I got the chance to talk to him, and my goodness, just without further ado, Ryan, for our audience members, here's our interview with Liam Greentree.
All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star forward from the Markham Majors U16 AAA program, Liam Greentree. Liam, how's it going?
Good. Good to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate you coming on. I mean, got to see you before the Silver Stick in the game against the Titans. Massive game there. Big win before the Silver Stick. And then big weekend at the Silver Stick for your team. Made it all the way to the semis. Really big tournament for yourself as well. I mean, your team, starting off, you guys faced some adversity with a tough loss to open the tournament, but then you guys really battled back, make it to the semis. How did you guys find a way to kind of bounce back and ultimately make it to Sunday there?
Well, I think in that game, they're not like the best team in the ETA right now. So we were thinking like, oh, we're gonna beat this team. Like before the Silver Stick, we were beating teams. Like I think we won like 12-0 or something against the Reps. And going in that game, we're like, oh, I think we were just a little bit too overconfident. So I think we got a little ahead of ourselves. But it really, what's the word?
Kind of like an eye opener, right?
Yeah, it really matured us. So
that was great. Yeah, it was. I mean, you guys really bounced back, and obviously, you guys made it. I got to see the quarterfinal game against North York there. Really battled hard in that game, and then made it to Sunday against us. And so, overall, it was just a phenomenal tournament by you guys, just to overcome that adversity and all that. But I mean, just jumping into your game here. I mean, when I watch you play with so much energy and excitement, and it's like you look like you're having so much fun on the ice. Are you having as much fun as it seems out there?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like I've always growing up playing. Like I used to like use my stick as a guitar when I hear the music. Like that's just been my personality, So I've always loved playing the game, and I always get the boys going before the game. So it's kind of my role, and I stick to it. So
I like that. It's funny. I think it was before the quarterfinal. I was saying with my buddies before that game, and I think you were on the bench for a bit, and then right before you went in the room, all I heard was a big like "woo!" Like "Let's go!"
Yeah.
Whenever you score, you get the boys going with the "Let's go!" after you score a goal. So I love that. Are you a big Sully guy after you score a goal?
Yeah. Always love the Sellies.
Any go-to Sellies?
Oh, You gotta love the one knee, hand on the ice, dragon on the ice one. I used to always do like using your stick as like a gun type thing.
Oh yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of the Timu Solani type celly right there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good one. I'm sure those cellies must happen a lot with your goal scoring ability, especially.
Yeah.
I'll jump into that now actually I mean watching you, you're a player with both quick hands and a quick shot, which play a big part in your game, which makes you such a dangerous player offensively on the ice. How do you like to utilize kind of those two aspects of your game to your advantage out there?
You know, with a big body like mine, it's really easy to, you know, get to the net and use that quick shot and use those hands. And down low when you're battling and you know, you just kind of comes to you and you kind of see it and you do it. It's kind of reaction type thing.
Do you find having those quick hands kind of helps you in those like small areas just to kind of maneuver in the tight space and maintain the possession there?
Yeah, for sure. You gotta have some, you know, some silky mitts, as I'd like to say, down there to make some plays.
Yeah, for sure. I like that term, silky mitts, because you definitely got some there, especially in that quick shot. I don't think goalies, every time you pull out, like I've seen multiple goals, you kind of just pull out almost into the slot, top of the circle. I feel bad for the goalies when that happens because it's just like you just rip it like top shelf on them. So it's like, what are you gonna do sometimes? Especially, it's like a tip of a cap type thing. There's nothing much they can do there, which I love watching. So it happens a lot there. So it's awesome to see that. But kind of jumping in, are there any players in the NHL you model your game after?
There's a duo that I really like. I love Kane and DeBrincat. They're definitely a top duo for me. Definitely like watching them.
Those two guys are incredible. I mean, DeBrincat, like, I think they're pretty unstoppable duo on the ice with the way they play. I mean, Kane with the quick hands he has, like this, he's just unreal with the quick hands.
Yeah.
Plus, I think he's got like an underrated kind of goal scoring ability too there.
Yeah, I think they're definitely an underrated duo. In my
opinion. For sure. So, I mean, those two guys are incredible to model, especially. I think you guys have that kind of chemistry there with that regard as well on your team, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And then jumping kind of outside of like in-game kind of stuff and NHL there, do you have any superstitions or any pre-game routines that are a must for you?
I always keep the blade. If I take my stick and I put the wax on, the blade doesn't touch the ground until
yeah.
And when I carry my bag, I always keep the logo showing, not my number.
Oh, really? Any reason for that, or is it just something that kind of just started going and you just did it?
I don't really like showing the number. I just you know, I play for my team, so it's what it is.
I like that. It's funny you mentioned the not touching your stick on the ground because we had Cal Ritchie and Nick Lardis on last year, and they mentioned Nick Lardis talked about that exact thing where Cal said one time he touched Nick's stick to the ground, and Nick took his tape off, he took everything off the stick, and then redid the whole thing before the game just because of that. Is that something where if that happened to you, you'd probably go like that, or are you a bit more relaxed?
No, definitely not. It's one and done thing for me.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll get into some fun ones now here, outside of hockey here.
All right.
If you could go back to any sporting event to be there live, relive, or watch it again, what sporting event would you go back to see?
Probably maybe bring it back to hockey, but a Leafs game. I think I've only been to 2. And I went once with my papa, took me to my first one. It was so fun. And he loves it too. So it was a really good time. He bought me a big can of Smarties and I crushed those. So yeah, it was a good time.
I think those little moments, like getting the food at the Leaf game, like as much as the hockey's great, sometimes I remember when I was younger, it was like, go to the games, like, can I get a like giant big hot dog that's probably bigger than my arm type stuff? Like, it's weird how like everyone talks about now, oh, the hockey's so good. And it's like, well, the food's also pretty good sometimes. It's like my sister always goes and she only goes for the food. She'll go there and she'll like, the Leafs are great, but I want the food. So it's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then another one for you here. So first off, if you could be any superhero, who would you want to be?
Well, that's a hard one. Favorite one is definitely Spider-Man. So I think I'd have to go with Spider-Man. Climb on walls and basically fly. So
ooh, that's a good one. Are you have you seen the previous Spider-Man movies at all?
Not a lot of them. Not a big Marvel or DC guy, to be honest, but
Nice. Okay, and then on the other side of that, if you could be any supervillain, who would you want to be?
oh man, I don't even really know any supervillains. Probably like the Joker because he just does what he wants or something like that. I don't know.
That's a good one. The Joker's a good one because he's kind of got that. He's got that confidence and he's got like the swagger, kind of the.
Yeah, he does. He's got some good style. So
I mean, he's a scary guy, but he's got some swagger. Where it's like even if he does some bad stuff, it's like okay, I'll give this guy some credit type stuff.
oh, yeah.
So, and then the last one for you here. We like to ask this one every so often. What would be your go-to karaoke song?
You gotta go with "Party in the USA." Like, come on.
Yes.
I have a funny story actually. We went to the Nashville tournament with my Evers team, and on the way back, we actually flew there, but we had to drive a bus on the way back, so it was 14 hours. And I gotta get the boys going. That's my role. So popped out "Party in the USA" on the mic, and yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So you guys flew down and you had to take the 14-hour ride back?
Yeah,
And
it was like 12 or something like that.
That'd be a perfect song to play too, especially Nashville too. So that'd be a perfect song.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I got that every time I got that on my playlist. It's like a must put.
Yeah.
It gets everyone going no matter where you are, anytime. How was that experience for you in Nashville?
It was so fun, man. We went downtown. It's such a good time. We had some good food. The hockey was really good too. We played, not the best teams of the tournament, but it doesn't really matter. It's Nashville. It's a summer tournament. It was a fun time, man.
Nashville's got to be one of the like best cities to go to in like the country there with just the environment they have. I mean, like watching on TV like the playoffs when the Preds make the playoffs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The city looks incredible. The main street and all the places. What like did you guys play near like their kind of home rink and all that, or was it kind of like outskirts, or were you guys like kind of?
We played in the Ford Ice Center. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw videos of it. The place looked pretty nice, and it looked like it was like an incredible experience there. So
Yeah.
that's really awesome to hear, and especially they kind of took you with a bit old school with the bus ride back too. So it was good to hear you kept the boys fired up though with Party in the USA. So
I think I lost my AirPods there. So if you find those there, they might be mine.
if anyone in Nashville, if anyone ever goes to Nashville and finds some AirPods, someone give Liam a call here because those aren't exactly. I don't think those are cheap either, aren't they?
No, definitely not.
God, I can't afford those when I'm on the student budget here. So, God, but that's awesome. I love that. Honestly, I just love the energy you bring to the ice, man. I love your game. It's just awesome watching you play with the energy you bring. Just one of the most exciting players, not just in the GTHL, but U16. So, just thanks so much for coming on the pod, man. Best of luck the rest of the season in the G. I know you're playing the top prospects game as well soon, so best of luck there. Congrats on making there, and best of luck at the OHL draft, man.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you too, man. Appreciate it.
All right, and we're back from our interview with Liam Greentree, forward from the Markham Majors U16 AAA program. Oh man, what a player Liam Greentree is! I remember seeing him back in when the Titans played the Majors, Majors played the Titans before the Silver Stick, and then watching him at the Silver Stick. Just an unreal player. I mean, first and foremost, watching him play, the energy and passion he plays with on the ice, talking to him, you can see how he loves. He's a fun-loving guy off the ice, in addition to having that passion on the ice. And I love those players who have fun. Just play the game fun. And he's got that, let's go, boys, let's go, woo, when he scores a goal. And he's having fun out there. And he makes things happen when he's having fun. And he plays loose, which for some guys, maybe they need to play a bit differently. But for him, playing loose, I love it. And it works so well for him, man.
Yeah, this is a player that that you had to educate me on quite a bit because you'd seen him a bunch of times before I got to see him, and like you were hyping him up for me, so I was really really excited to get a chance to finally see him. And when I did, I mean, he didn't disappoint. Like you were right, he is the real deal, unbelievable player, like high end prospect. I'm so unfortunate I had to miss the interview. I ended up kind of like
Something came up, right?
Something came up, yeah, and I had to kind of rush out and get back to the rink, do some recruiting and whatnot. But for some work I'm doing, but like, yeah, I wish I would have been able to be there for that one because he's just so talented, unbelievable player, like really, really high end, good speed, like really good skater. Like when we talk about these high end players and these players that are going to be selected near the top of the draft in the first few rounds and whatnot, like he fits that kind of thing. And like it starts with the skating, right? Like let's face it, like we're on ice for skating. Like that's what the game is all about. So he's really, really powerful and he's really highly skilled, like really, really great hands, excellent shot release, just kind of like really good player, just unbelievable overall.
Oh gosh, to your point about the skating, the quickness that he has, where he's able to kind of on a dime just stop and change directions. When he's got space, he cuts that middle so effectively. And then he's got those quick hands in small areas that he's able to use so effectively to maintain puck possession and then work in an area where he's able to use that outstanding shot release that's just so quick and so deadly accurate that it's just goalies stand no chance on when he's shooting the puck. But because he's got that outstanding shot release, it opens him up to maybe feed the point or feed a guy, distribute the puck as well, which he's so good at. But it's just the offensive potential with this player is off the charts in that aspect, just with what he's able to do. But I mean, when we talk about the finesse and the skating and all that and the quickness, he's also doesn't shy away from getting down low and getting in the dirty areas, working hard and forcing puck loose and being a presence down there as well on the forecheck, which is a big time thing for skilled players as well, I think.
Yeah, like I mean, he wins a lot of 50-50 puck battles, right? Like he kind of gets in there and like if it's a 50-50 puck, chances are he's going to come out with it, whether he uses that physicality and kind of wins those or like a lot of times they just get there first, right? Like he's got that, like you mentioned, he's got that great jump and those great changes of direction. So like whether he's shifting diagonally or laterally or whatnot, like he's always kind of able to kind of get the jump on guys and get ahead of them. And I mean, when he drives wide, like he's gone, right? Like he drives wide on guys. He just bursts by them with that speed and that explosiveness. And I think that's huge in his game. And the skating, like unbelievably skilled, awesome player, just an excellent scorer, sees the ice well, great passer too. Makes the right passes, whether it's forehand, backhand, whatnot. He's got the skill to make, I don't know, finesse passes, touch passes, hard passes through bodies, like really, really good, complete overall player.
Absolutely. And as we wrap it up as well, I also want to make a point that on the breakout as well, he's constantly able to get the puck out efficiently, doesn't mess around with it. Whether it be skating it himself or taking a pass and then getting the puck out with that way. So like you mentioned, just a complete player there and the offensive talent there. Obviously, whenever anyone watches the Market Majors, how can you not notice this player? So
yeah, I know.
Just unbelievable. I can't thank him enough for coming on the pod, getting to talk to myself. It was just phenomenal getting to talk to him and just off the ice. Such a great teammate as well. I was really going to talk to him about a superstition kind of pregame routine a bit as well. I really loved. I found it interesting how he talked about, when he carries his bag in, he likes to carry it in with the logo out front and the number in and kind of that perspective that he has. I found that interesting. It was something new and it was interesting to hear, Ryan.
That's something that is actually super cool. Like I don't know if I've ever seen that. It's always the number out, right? That's really cool. Like that's something I never would have thought of, and like a really, really cool perspective. Like really, really, that's an intangible that's going to stick in your head and something that you're going to remember. And yeah, like really, really good player. Like I think he's good defensively as well. Just kind of a 200-foot player. Just able to kind of, like works hard for his team, right? He doesn't miss any assignments. Great player.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, just thanks so much to Liam for coming on the pod. And on that note, we'll wrap it up for our viewers and our listeners on the U16 pod here. So like we usually do, just we'll drop the social medias here at the U16 pod on social media on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow myself and Ryan on our social media, Twitter and Instagram. Mine at CWilliams_384. Ryan at Ryan P. MacArthur. If you want any inquiries or messages, feel free to send an email to the U16pod@gmail.com. But definitely, if you haven't checked out part 1 of the Silver Stick, go check that one out. And definitely hope you enjoyed this whole Silver Stick series. It was great to kind of dive into the Silver Stick. We didn't get this chance last year, so We look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. And honestly, just thanks so much once again to all the players from part 1 and all the players in part 2 for joining us on this episode of the U16 pod and the Silver Stick series. So on that note, we'll see you next time on the U16 pod. See ya.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.